Our Buy Brandon campaign is a way for the Chamber to put some excitement into our residents and our community about how important it is to spend your dollars here in Brandon.
The Buy Brandon campaign is very important for the city of Brandon. Here in South Dakota, most cities rely heavily on sales tax, much more than in other states. Without sales tax, we wouldn't be able to operate. You wouldn't have people plowing your snow. You wouldn't have a police department. You wouldn't have parks or park improvements. So it is essential that people buy in town. The more you buy in town, the more local sales tax comes into our coffers, the more things that we can do to improve your quality of life in Brandon.
Last year's Buy Brandon campaign went excellent. We did really good with the sales tax revenue, which now this year we get to reap the rewards of everyone buying Brandon.
Sales tax revenue was a little over $3.3 million last year. It was an increase over the previous year, and we have continually increased each year. We use that money for park improvements such as the Sunrise Playground surfacing, the transit bus system. Last year we did also buy a new bus. Our original bus was getting aged and old. We also use that for debt service and some equipment for different departments. With the money we bought a plow truck, which helps plow our streets in the winter months, and we also bought a loader.
One of the upsides to closing the pool this summer is we planned on doing a $1.6 million renovation down at the pool to include a new kiddie pool, some play features in the pool, as well as upgrading some equipment, expanding some of the lounge areas.
The Chamber's $5 challenge goes hand in hand with buying Brandon. It's as simple as just making it a priority to spend $5 a week right here in Brandon. By spending $5 extra a week, it does make a huge impact in our community. If you live in Brandon, like myself and my family do, I challenge you to make it a priority to spend your dollars right here in our community.
And welcome to Brandon, South Dakota, as we have a big matchup this evening between your Lynx and the Harrisburg Tigers. Both sitting at 5-1. My name's Ken McEwen, and along with me, I have a new voice up here, and his name is Bob Arnold. Kyle is over on the PA system this evening, and he has to fill in for Bob this evening. So I want to welcome Bob to the broadcast. I'm going to give you a little update and a little bit of what Bob's done in the past. He used to be, I believe, for I may be wrong with this, but 20 plus years of doing the PA for the USD Coyotes. All of you are familiar with those, and you've probably heard Bob at the games quite a bit for basketball, men's and women's, and volleyball. So welcome, Bob.
Thanks. It's nice to be here, Ken. I appreciate the invitation to do some high school football action here.
Yeah, and we got a big matchup this evening as everybody's tuning in on Lynx TV, on Alliance Communications Channel 226 and Lynx TV on YouTube. Thanks for watching us. We've had big boosts of attendance, let's just say, at home, live, and wherever you are. You can be on your phone driving around. Hopefully you're not driving around. You're parked and watching our game. But wherever you are, we're happy to bring this live to you. And we want to start out by thanking our sponsors because of them, we're able to bring this to you live. And our anchor sponsors are Avera Medical Group, McGreevy and Brandon, Sanford Clinic, Family Medicine in Brandon, Service First, Federal Credit Union, Sanford Orthopedics. The founding members are Alliance Communications, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Ace Hardware, the Brandon Pharmacy, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency Incorporated, Heartland Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Sunshine Food Store, Today's Family Dentistry, and your platinum sponsors for Lynx TV are Sanford Health, Sioux Valley Energy, Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, Midco Communications, and your pride sponsors are the Architecture Incorporated, Hinkle Electronic Materials LLC, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence. Thank you all for what you do to bring Lynx TV live, especially in the kind of the year that we're living in the year of 2020, where, like I said, our attendance or our crowd at home has really boosted up this year, Bob, and we got to now we'll focus on the game a little bit, but we got the Harrisburg Tigers coming in to Brandon here versus your Lynx, and it's a big matchup. You are sitting with, in the 11 AAA right now, the standings coming off the South Dakota High School Association's website is Roosevelt sitting at 5-0 at number 1. Brandon Valley sit at number 2 at 5-1, and right behind them at 5-1 is these Harrisburg Tigers that are invading Lynx territory tonight, Bob.
Yes, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. I think we've got some contrasting styles here. Harrisburg seems to be more of your spread offense, throw the ball around a bit. Brandon, probably more of your conventional offense where you're going to run the ball, and right when you think you got it stopped, they're gonna pop a pass down the middle to one of the best wide receivers in the state. So I think it's going to be an exciting matchup. Defensive coordinators, I think, are going to have their hands full tonight.
I agree with you, and we always know that the Lynx typically will establish the run. That's what they're known for, especially this year with the quarterback and Joe Colback and Tate Johnson, the phenomenal running back. He leads the state in yards and rushing yards, and we know he can be lethal out of the backfield too in the passing game. And then you just mentioned, Bob, Jackson Hilton, one of the best wide receivers in the state, and he can break it open at any time. So defensively, here's the key, okay? One of the keys is that Harrisburg cannot bring a safety down when you have a wide receiver that lethal on the outside. You know, you want to stack the box and bring probably eight guys to eight kids, men, to stop the run. We're talking about Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Tigers, to stop Brandon Valley's run, and that's you're really picking your poison there, because if you bring that safety down, all of a sudden, guess what? Jackson Hilton now is in one-on-one coverage, man-to-man coverage, and that could break open this game real quick.
You know, I have to agree with you, Ken. The interesting part about Jackson Hilton is not only is he fast, but he's 6'3", 180 pounds. So if you're going to put a smaller defensive back to keep up with the speed, just throw the ball up. Let him go up and get it.
I agree.
And like I said, the defensive coordinators, you got to pick your poison. What are you gonna stop, and what are you gonna do with it? It's going to be a great game tonight, Ken. It's kind of getting to be an electric atmosphere. Looks like we've got a pretty good crowd over in Harrisburg. Looks like the stands are got some folks in it here. Looks like we're getting ready for some good football. I
agree, and both teams coming off a pretty big win. We'll talk with about your Lynx first. The last ball game that they faced, it was Washington, and it was really no contest from the beginning, as the Lynx started off with a big kick return to start the game off for the first points of the game, and they end up winning 39-0 over the Washington Warriors. Harrisburg on the other side had a nail biter. They went right to the end, and they were facing Lincoln, Lincoln's a very, very good football team, and they're sitting in the 4th spot right now in the standings. They have one loss, I believe one. I'd have to get that correct, but 1 or 2 losses behind these two teams, and they won 46-42 at the end. And now we're about to bring you our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the communities that make up the Brandon Valley School District would like to welcome you to Brandon Valley High School and to Lynx football. Tonight's AAA 11-man football game features our guests with a season 5-1 record, the Tigers of Harrisburg High School, against the 5-1 record of the Brandon Valley Lynx. The presentation of our colors is being performed tonight by the color guard members of the Brandon VFW Post 4726, Brandon Valley American Legion Post 318, and the Valley Springs American Legion Post 131. The privilege of this game is made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. God bless our veterans and active duty military and all they do for our nation and our local communities. Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask that you please rise. Proper etiquette is to remove all headwear, face the flag, and put your right hand over your heart. As we play the national anthem, active duty military personnel or veterans not in uniform may salute the flag. Playing our national anthem will be the Brandon Valley Trumpet Line under the direction of Abby Christensen. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
And welcome back to our broadcast as we have a massive matchup this evening in 11 AAA in the state of South Dakota, the biggest class in the state, as the Harrisburg Tigers, sitting at 5-1, invade Brandon, South Dakota, and the Brandon Valley Lynx sitting at 5-1. The standings right now, like we talked about, Roosevelt sitting at 5-0 at number 1, Brandon Valley sitting at 5-1 at number 2, and right behind them are the Harrisburg Tigers at 5-1 also. It's like we just talked about, Bob and I talked about before the national anthem, what the matchup means. The matchup's going to mean that what seed goes into the playoffs. I mean, you're either fighting for really between the 2 and 3 seeds, and everybody else. There's, to me, when I look at those standings, Bob, it doesn't look like anybody can catch them. So this is really the game that can be movement in the top 3.
That is absolutely correct. I think O'Gorman's sitting at 4-3. I think Lincoln is sitting at 3-4 right now, or excuse me, 3-3 right now. But they've got a couple of games yet to play, so they could move into that 4th spot. And this game means a lot, really. It's getting away from Roosevelt, and it's a good thing to do here at this time of the year.
Well, yeah, and both these teams played them a few games back, Harrisburg, and that was a lopsided victory in favor of Roosevelt. But the game in the beginning of the season here on this field between the Lynx and Roosevelt, it was a 2-point game. That's what it ended up being. And so that matchup, hopefully, the Lynx win this ball game tonight, and hopefully that matchup prevails down the line in a state championship game.
Well, if all the seeds hold up, you might get to see these guys. Well, let's not worry about the playoffs right now. How about the game we got on the field right now?
That's true. That's a great point. And so we'll see where the refs put us at, who's receiving the ball and who's kicking off. But some of the key players, I know I'll have you go over, Bob, what do you have coming into this game about points allowed and points given up for each team there quick?
Well, I would say they're a mirror match of each other. Both of them are averaging right between 37 and 40 points a game. The defense is giving up between 15 and 20 points a game. Like I said, it's about as even match as you're going to get. Now, the last couple of games of the season, which is kind of telling you where you're going, that's a little different story, but it looks like Brandon's getting ready to kick off here.
And Brandon has lost the toss. I believe Harrisburg's going to win the toss and elect to receive. Brandon Valley about kicking off. I cannot see the number. I believe it's number 40. Zach Brummels in to kick, and we're underway. It's a deep kick, and number 10, it's going to be Cayman Hudson with the return up to the 21-yard line and a host of Lynx on the tackle. The Tigers are going to open up, I believe, with a spread offense coming into this ball game. That's what they do. They have a tremendous quarterback in Jacob Knuth. He is highly touted. He's been, I believe, I don't know if he's going to Augustana or not, but he's number 7 on your field. There was rumors that he is. In the spread formation, trips to your left, single receiver to the right. Pistol formation, gives to his running back, and he's going to gain about, let's just say, 4 yards.
Yeah, that was a good stop. The defensive line kind of held their own there. They got a little bit of movement, but they did not allow him to get through the line into the secondary.
And that's going to be Anders Clayton on the run. Hurry-up offense for the Tigers. The Lynx in a 4-lineman set on defense. Motion man's number 15 from the left to right. Back to pass is Knuth. He hits his receiver number 6. And that's going to be, well, we're going to take a look here. It's going to be Ethan Rollinger, the receiver for the Tigers. And that's going to be a first down for the Tigers as they open up this drive with 1 first down so far.
That was a good quick hitter to the outside. He basically just ran up the sidelines until they knocked him out of bounds.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers from about the 39-yard line. Fullback set in this pistol set. They're going to give it to, and we'll see if we can get the number. I believe it's going to be number 22, Anders Clayton, with the carry. And he's going to carry it for about 3 yards. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Tigers. The Lynx defense sitting at a 4-2-5 defense sitting out there, kind of a nickel package for those of you that know defenses. Knuth in the backfield gives it to his running back again for his 3rd carry, and that's Clayton, and I believe he's going to pick up the first down, Bob.
You know, they almost had him in the backfield, and he got the arm out there, but he managed to maintain his balance and continue around the end. The receiver on the end made a nice crackback block to allow those extra yards.
And defensively, we know the Lynx bring a pretty good defense led by Parker Reed, number 44, the defensive end. And Knuth out of the shotgun, full spread, 5 receivers out. He scrambles to his left. He's flushed out, passes. He's going to be out of bounds. They're going to call him out of bounds prior to letting the ball go, and that's going to be a big neglecting play for that offense. I believe, if I'm getting it right, about a 9-yard loss.
Yes, they got a lot of good pressure from the left end, and they chased him towards the out-of-bounds sign on the far side of the field, and got enough pressure where he didn't know where he was going, and he stepped out of bounds.
So opening drive for the Tigers here early in the 11 AAA matchup. Spread offense for Knuth. Has 5 receivers again, 2nd and 19. He passes over the middle, almost intercepted. Great defensive play by the safety, and that's going to be number 14. And that's going to be Noah Thompson with the coverage coming from the safety. What they're doing, Bob, is they're putting 2 safety high, and that worked that time as that receiver, I don't know, I think it was number 6. Ethan Rollinger again popping open, but just a great play by the Lynx defense. 3rd and 19. Knuth drops back, little screen over the middle. He's gonna hit his receiver, and he busts open, but he's gonna be forced out of bounds short, and that's gonna be number 15 for the Tigers, Lincoln Carlson. He is a junior, and it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down, Bob. They're going to be short about, it looks like 4th and 5, and the aggressiveness is coming out early in this football game.
Well, I think the the Harrisburg coach is figuring they got to score. They got to score early and often, and they got to keep the foot on the gas pedal if they're going to hopes to stay in this game.
Shotgun, Knuth rolls to his left. He's not going to get it. Big defensive stop on the opening series for the Lynx as Knuth scrambled. It was a actual fake draw to his running back Clayton, and he scrambled to the left, and that there was a host of Brandon Valley Lynx defensive players over there.
Yes, it was definitely a designed quarterback run, and you could tell when he had to flatten out that he couldn't get upfield that the defense was on track to get him before he got there, and that's exactly what happened.
Lynx offense on the field now at about the 46-yard line. They're going to come into a full package 2 tight end set. I formation, and it's going to be Tate Johnson with the carry. He's going to carry for about 3 yards. Bob talked about in the beginning of this matchup what the Lynx would do offensively, and they're bringing it out right away in that I formation 2 tight end set. They want to establish the run.
You know that old adage, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? Except we got a beautiful field out here. There isn't no dust, but there's nothing fancy about it. It's like we're going to push it down your throat, and if you can stop us, then we'll try something else.
As soon as I say that, spread offense, 3 receivers to the left, and that's going to be Colbeck with the carry. It's going to be a quarterback draw designed, and that's going to gain about 1 yard. So a big 3rd down in the beginning of this ball game with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 5. Harrisburg with they gained, I believe, 2 first downs on their opening drive, but a big stop for the Lynx defense. Lynx offense on 3rd down and 5. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Colbeck looks to throw. He's going to find his receiver. It's Vigans, his tight end. Over the middle, big first down Lynx.
It was definitely a slant play that he was wide open. They did not have the good coverage there. They were giving him too much room out there because they're a little worried about what he's going to do over the top. But excellently designed play, the right call, low risk.
I like it. Get him comfortable. Get Colbeck comfortable in the pocket and make completions. I formation, 2 receivers to the left. Vigans goes in motion to his left. Going to give to Tate Johnson out of the I formation. A host of Harrisburg defenders are there, and they're going to bottle him up. Maybe 1 yard gain there. But, Bob, you talked about how they spread it out to the left there on that 3rd down and 5, and they just ran a little slant pattern from Vigans, and Vigans is a really, really good tight end in this state, and they open up with him, and I like that.
Well, you can see that the defense is definitely focusing on the run. They're keying on Mr. Johnson there, and they're going to make somebody else beat him.
Tate Johnson with his 2nd carry, and he's going to gain another about 1 yard, I believe. And I believe it's going to be 3rd and 8. And now we're going to see how aggressive Coach Garrow and the Lynx staff are, as we saw the Tigers go for it on 4th down on their opening drive. We'll see what happens here off of this 3rd down play. Colbeck out of the shotgun, 2 receivers to his right, motions Johnson, quarterback draw. I don't believe he's going to get it. Maybe it's going to be really close, as he motioned Tate Johnson to his right, and they're going to call it a 1st down, as Colbeck with the 2nd draw of this opening drive.
You know, that was an excellently blocked play, Ken, because he stepped back. The offensive line pushed him to the outside, do an outside blocking scheme, and the middle just opened right up for him. And I think the linebackers were a little too deep to get there before he got the 1st down.
And that's what that spread offense will do to you. Lynx come out of the huddle, 1st down and 10. 3 receivers to the left, gives to Tate Johnson to his left, breaks open over the middle. He is down to about the 8-yard line. A big gainer from Tate Johnson. We've seen that all year, how he just finds the little crease in that offensive line, and he bursts it open for another big 1st down for the Lynx.
I think the Harrisburg Tiger secondary there got him by a shoelace, or he was gone.
Yeah, that's true. It looked like he was tripped up.
It was the last guy there that kind of just did enough to get him down.
Colbeck under center, I formation, fakes it, rolls to his right, has 2 receivers, has one open, great catch. Throw was behind him, touchdown Lynx. And we'll see who was on the receiving end of that touchdown, but Joe Colbeck rolling to his right, and it was a little behind him, but a great adjustment from the receiver. And we'll see who that was.
You know, on that throw, you can say that it was low, but it was put in a spot where only the receiver was going to catch it there. So if he doesn't catch it, it's not worried about getting intercepted there.
And that's a great point, as number 40, number 40 for the Lynx, Zach Brummels, comes in for the extra point, and it's good. Early in this football game, the first quarter, 6:02 to go, is your Lynx on both these opening drives have been tremendous, haven't they, Bob? Your Lynx go up 7-0. The Tigers with an opening drive. We just talked about how they gained 2 1st downs, and they got aggressive, going for it. You know, if you don't make it on 4th down, you're giving the Lynx some really good field position, and the Lynx capitalize on the mistake that the Tigers made on going for it on 4th down.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree, Ken. I don't think it necessarily was a mistake.
Okay.
I think that was a chance that they knew that this game was going to be tight. If you're past the 50-yard line, a punt, probably going to kick it into the end zone. You're not going to gain too much. So I think that's probably their style.
Yeah, and that's
probably something that they've done all year.
That's a great point, Bob, is that when you have a spread offense like that, you tend to be ultra aggressive, and that's a great point. So the Lynx are on to the field for the kickoff, and Zach Brummels is going to be kicking off for the Lynx. Going right to left are your Lynx to the Tigers. 7-0 ball game in this big 11 AAA matchup, and they have to reset the ball, and that's okay. It allows us to take a breath, Bob. As the crowd does that noise. Don't they do that at Duke University a little bit in basketball? Yeah.
Yeah, but usually it's like 14,000 Duke basketball fans.
And the Harrisburg Tigers, their deep man, fumbles the ball. He does get it up to the 20, though, and that's going to be number 10. And we'll see if we have that number. That's going to be Cayman Hudson with the return. So, Lynx defense that made a big stand in the first drive in this first quarter comes back to the field. And we talked about what type of defense they have. They have like a 52 defense, a 42 defense, where it's a true nickel package as the Tigers will spread it. Trips to the left, one to Knutsen's right. Pistol formation, there's the draw to his running back, and he cuts up, and he's going to get big time yards as he goes to the left. And he's going to be shoved out of bounds at about the 50, and that's going to be Clayton again. We've seen Clayton a couple times break it open a little bit. You think they're going to have a tremendous passing game, and then all of a sudden Clayton evolves onto the scene.
Well, on that particular one, they had 4 receivers, maybe 5 receivers on there, and he waited until they got into pass coverage, and everybody cleared out that zone area, and he went right up the gut and then broke it to the far side of the field for a long gain.
Very patient running back is Clayton in the backfield with Knuth. Trips to his right, one to his left. Pistol formation, calls out the signals. He's going to give it to Clayton again, and he's going to burst up the middle for about 5 yards. And you know the Tigers' offense will always take a big 5-yard gain on first down. It opens up the playbook for them on 2nd down and 5.
You know, the offensive line for Harrisburg looks pretty good sized for those that are around the state. They just kind of line up. They're big, they're strong, they're tall, and they're going to make that defensive line of Brandon really work tonight.
And Knuth out of the shotgun. He fumbles it, and Spencer Owen is in on the tackle along with Parker Reed, both coming from their defensive end positions. And, hey, what did we talk about? What forced the Tigers on their first series was Jacob Knuth scrambling to his left and losing 9 yards. Well, that misplay there, that fumble by him, they just lost, I believe, right around, let's just call it 8 yards.
It hit him right in the hands. It kind of bounced off a little bit. So it didn't look like a bad snap to me.
Knuth out of the shotgun, spread offense, passes high behind his receiver. It's going to bring up a 4th down now. Bob, you said that you're not surprised by that spread offense going for it on 4th down. You think they are here?
No.
Okay.
They were to the opponent's side of the 50 when they went for that. Here they're talking back, but you never know when a fake could be coming.
That is true.
They've got some good athletes. There's nobody in the middle of that field except for the deep guy. But they're going to punt here.
On to punt for the Tigers, and it is a botch punt. It may travel about, it's going to get a little roll, about 25 yards, if that.
Yep, it bounced off the side of his foot and went towards the near sideline, and Brandon's going to have good field position here.
So the punter, Bryce Soley, kind of shanks it off his foot, and it gives Brandon Valley to me, that's really good field position anytime you're starting at the 40.
It is. They got pretty good pressure on him. I think it made the punter just a little bit nervous, and he tried to rush it a bit to make sure he got it off, and he got it off the side of his foot.
Colbeck in the pistol formation with Tate Johnson behind him. He's going to give it to Johnson. Johnson's going to gain about 2 to 3 yards on that play. As you can see, it's kind of a pistol I formation. You have a fullback in there in Wickersham. You see on this drive, maybe they're going to try to establish a run, but always watch out for number 11 on the outside of the top of your screen. He can bust open, especially if he's in man-to-man coverage, and the offensive coordinator sees that.
And he is in man-to-man coverage right now.
Colbeck with a big run, big block by Hilton from his receiver position. He bounced it way out, but that was a huge block from a receiver from Hilton to open it up for another probably 12 yards.
Yeah, he was the only one outside of the right tackle for the defense, and so they saw that. They ran to the outside, and that one guy out there blocked and sealed in that guy from getting outside contain, and excellent gain.
Colbeck's going to march his offense up to the line. I formation. Colbeck under center, 2 receivers to his left. He's going to give it to Johnson. He's going to back to the outside. It's a big gainer for him, his second big gainer of the game, and it's going to be about 16 yards for Tate Johnson. He's going to pick up another Lynx first down as they're going to travel all the way down to right around, we'll just call it the 25-yard line as another big drive from the Lynx, starting at the 40 down to the 25 now.
Say Jackson Mullet had a heck of a block to spring that one because there was nobody out there.
He's a tremendous football player. 2 tight end set, I formation, and there's the give to Johnson to the right. He's going to pick up about 2 yards. And the Lynx are pretty satisfied with picking up those little chunks of yards, and then all of a sudden they just hit you with a big one from Colbeck or Tate Johnson. It's really pick your poison between those two. They can really gain yards with their legs out of the backfield.
And it's a low-risk play.
Right. 2 receivers to the right for the Lynx offense. I formation again. Colbeck's going to drop back, play action, underthrown, but it's a good catch by number 80. And are they going to call it a touchdown? They're not. They're going to call it the ball down at about the 2-yard line. And that's going to be, I believe, number 80. And it's going to be Peyton Carroll with the big catch off the play action. You see how the running game's affecting the offense now. As Tate Johnson's going to get it, he's going to march in untouched. Touchdown Lynx. 13-0 your Lynx on 2 drives on offense, Bob, have went, I can't say the distance of the field because they've had great field position, but the main thing is they punched their ticket twice in this first quarter into the end zone.
What I'm seeing from the offensive line that's, I think, opening some of these holes is that the tackles are pulling and leading into the hole that the running back wants to go, and he's getting that second-level guy and opening it up for the running back.
Zach Brummel's in to kick the extra point for the Lynx. It's a fake, and that's going to be Mashlin. He's going to keep it. Does he find the end zone? He does not. As there was a big stop, and I don't know if that was designed. It seemed like it because Brummel's had a ton of time to still kick that ball. That might have been designed, but they are not going to score on that extra point. So now we have a 13-0 ball game. Hopefully that does not come back to bite them at the end of the game. As we know, special teams will play a big part in every big football game.
That is absolutely right. It looked to me like it was a design play because he was looking to pass, and then when there's nobody there, the guy that was leading in the way was telling him to go ahead and try it. And they just made a heck of a stop coming down the line to get him right before he got in there for the 2-point.
Yeah, I believe so. It really looked like it was designed, and that's okay. That's the Lynx being aggressive, too, just like the Harrisburg Tigers being aggressive. That's an aggressive call by the Lynx offense and special teams coordinator. And Zach Brummels is on to kick for the kickoff. Like we talked about, 13-0 already in this 11 AAA massive matchup between the number 2 and 3 seed, both sitting at 5-1.
Yeah, this is a very important series for Harrisburg. They do not want to go down 3 scores because it'll be tough to come back.
I agree with you. And Brummels with the kick. He has booted him real deep so far. He's going to bring this one down to about the 1 as the Tigers, I believe his foot was in the end zone. They're not going to call it as a touchback. And you looked at me, Bob, the white hat, the referee. I thought his foot was in the end zone and should have been a touchback. It's not, and they don't call it, and that is a big gainer in great field position for the Tigers offense. You talked about them having a big series here, important series. Well, that started off pretty good for them.
Anytime you can start on the positive side of the 50, that's a good place to start.
Lynx defense comes out to the field. They have that traditional defense when they go against the spread, the same that they went with Washington in their spread. 2 tight ends set now for the Tigers. Knuth out of the pistol formation with Clayton behind him. They give to Clayton. He's going to bounce. Actually, it's not Clayton. It's going to be number 35. And that's going to be Gavin Ross for the Tigers. Gets his first carry of the ball game, and it's a pretty good carry. He's going to gain 5 yards on first down.
You know, that was right up the gut. There's nothing fancy about that. It was just me versus you, And if you can stop me, great. And if not, we're going to get some yards.
Right.
And they got some yards on that particular play.
And Knuth out of the shotgun, 2 tight end set, receiver down to his right and left. Design roll to the right. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. He may have lost a yard on that as the host of Lynx met him. It's almost like they knew it was coming.
I think there's a lot of good scouting that goes on in these games, and they identify tendencies and so forth. And now, interesting play. You've got about 3rd down and 6 here, and they haven't really passed a ton because every time they drop back to pass, the Lynx are getting pressure on the quarterback, and he's got to run and taking him out of his normal rhythm.
Knuth out of the pistol formation. I believe Clayton's behind him. He's going to motion him to the left. True spread formation now, 4 receivers to the left. Looks left, goes back to his right, and great coverage by a player that we've talked about already. They put Jackson Hilton out on 3rd down to play corner. That's what the Lynx do. They rest him on 1st and 2nd down from the offense, put him on 3rd down, and great coverage by Jackson Hilton to force a 4th down. Now, Bob, what are they going to do?
I think they're going for it. I think if they went for it before on 4th on that side of the 40, they got to go now. They're down 2 scores, Ken. They got to get something going. They got to get that Big Mo back on their side, and that's momentum, and that's huge in the high school game. And
interesting, Knuth's off the field, and a new quarterback, and that's going to be, I believe, number 6. But Harrisburg Tigers are going to call a timeout. They didn't like it. I think they were trying to bring in a kind of a pistol formation, kind of that wildcat formation with Ethan Rollinger back there, the receiver. They put him back in the backfield with Clayton. So it's going to be a timeout, the first timeout of this football game for the Tigers. So what we've seen so far is a battle of being aggressive from both offensive staffs. You know, we haven't seen the real deep ball except for the Tigers kind of on their first series trying to take it deep to Rollinger, Knuth to Rollinger, but our safety was right there on the money and broke up that pass. I expected, to be honest with you, Bob, this Harrisburg offense to come out throwing more than they have.
Well, that might be why they're trying something a little different, because that's if that's in all their tapes and that's all they do, you plan a good defense for that, and maybe coming out and trying to do some of these other things or trying to catch Brandon off guard. Now, one interesting point there is they might have been trying to draw and get Brandon to use a timeout there, throwing in something like that, or trying to draw him off on defense. So, and when it didn't work, they had to take a timeout of their own and get a different package in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is a lot of teams will come out with a fake snap and try to draw them off sides. Same offense back out to the field for the Tigers. Rollinger in the ball game out of the Wildcat formation, the quarterback formation. Clayton to his left. It looks like they're in a step back for the punt. It's kind of a, they want you to, they're going to throw it. Great coverage. Nobody's there. Almost intercepted from the Lynx, but great coverage as the Lynx staff, the coaching staff, is excited on the sideline because that was a true fake, and the coverage was amazing for the Lynx, and it's going to be Lynx football. How aggressive was that?
Well, like I said, I called it. If they're going to go on 4th down on this side before, they're going to do it again here. And you know what? If that ball was just a little thrown a little under, that receiver was right there, had some space.
Right. Joel Kolbeck, your quarterback for the Lynx, out of the shotgun. Motions Jackson Hilton from his left to right. They're going to give Jackson Hilton on the sweep to his right. He's fighting for yards. He's going to gain a big first down as he came from his wide receiver position, and on that, they call it a jet motion, Bob, and he came and got the ball from Kolbeck and a big first down.
The receiver's going to get the credit for the yards, but the blocking out there by his other fellow receivers in the line to keep the contain from getting out there was what really made that play go.
I agree with you. First down again for the Lynx as they cross the 50 with that run. Colbeck out of the shotgun with Tate Johnson to his left. He's got 2 receivers to his left also, and he's going to give it to Tate Johnson. Tate Johnson's going to gain about, up the middle, about 1 yard. And so it's going to bring up a second down. The Lynx offense is in no hurry as they can eat some of this clock down to zeros in the first quarter with this drive, or even within this drive. Harrisburg Tigers a little winded right now. That defense for the Tigers has been, I know that we're still in the first quarter, Bob, but they've been on the field a lot.
Yeah, they're back on their heels a little bit, and that was very much a hard-fought 1 yard there.
Colbeck motions three receivers, tight ends, and a fullback to his left. Pitch to Johnson. He's going to cut it up. He cuts to the outside, and there's a flag on the field. I wonder if it's going to be holding. We'll see, or a block in the back, but that's a big gainer by Tate Johnson. But unfortunately, I think it's coming back.
I got to believe you're right. I believe the white hat out there kind of indicated holding on the play.
So that's going to push.
See if I know my football signals here.
There you are right. It's going to be holding, and that's going to nullify a big gainer, as it was a pitch out to Johnson to their left. And for a big gainer, it's going to be, like you said, it's nullified. And that's what the first true mistake that the Lynx have made. And that's going to come from number 80. That's going to be for the Lynx. That's going to be Peyton Carroll, the wide receiver, with holding. And that happens a lot on the outside. They'll get caught for grabbing those shoulder pads on the outside, not inside. They're not taught to block all the time. I formation for Joel Colbeck in the Lynx offense. It's going to be 2nd and 16. And there's the play action. He wants Jackson Hilton deep, scrambles back to his left. He's got blockers. He's going to keep it. He's going to gain up to about the 40-yard line, so I believe they're going to be at about 3rd and 10 now from the original spot where they gained that big first down. So that's a pretty good gainer, and it's going to bring us down to the end of the first quarter. We've had an exciting first quarter already in this big matchup between the Harrisburg Tigers sitting at 5-1 and your Lynx sitting at 5-1. And we talked about in the pregame what this matchup means to the playoffs and what it's going to mean. It's really a 2 and 3 seed that you are fighting for today, and you're really fighting for that 2 seed.
You are, because it's going to get you home field advantage for one.
Right.
And in the second, if you get to the second round, and you get it for the first round as well, the first 4 seeds, but it's kind of important because I think the Lynx really enjoy playing at home in front of their fans, and that's the extra person on the field when it comes to playoff football.
And for the seniors, you want them to have more home games. That's just what you want for your seniors, and you always want to play on your home field. So that's the big fight tonight, and we can see it from all the news stations here and everybody. It's on the radio. It's just a big game here in South Dakota, probably the biggest game in South Dakota this evening on a Friday night, and it's crispy cold out tonight, and this is the fall weather that we like.
This is football weather.
Right.
We've got 25 seniors on the Brandon Valley team that are playing their last home football game in front of their fans, regular season.
Right, regular season, right.
In front of the fans.
More than likely, we will be covering more games with you, hopefully, from Lynx TV in the playoffs. Your anchor sponsors for Lynx TV are Avera Medical Group, McGreevy, Brandon, Sanford Clinic Family Medicine in Brandon, Service First Federal Credit Union, and Sanford Orthopedics. The founding members are Alliance Communications, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Pharmacy, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency Incorporated, Heartland Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Sunshine Food Store, and Today's Family Dentistry. Thank you, guys. Thank you, sponsors. Okay, so we have, opening up in the second quarter, we got a 3rd down and 10 as the Lynx gain about 10 yards on that Joel Colbeck scramble on the last play. Colbeck flings it out to Tate Johnson. Tate Johnson breaks a big tackle, but I thought they're going to call it back. I seen a flag. We don't know what it's going to be, but Tate Johnson runs in for the touchdown. I'm looking at the yellow flags on the field, and we've seen a big block from, I believe, it's going to be and it's going to be a holding call.
It is going to be a holding call, and it was a holding call that, by the placement of the flag, was 10 yards into the play.
Wow. And so that's your second holding call, and that's going to be his second holding call. That's going to be Peyton Carroll at wide receiver there. Just trying to, and you like the aggressiveness from your wide receiver, and they're going to be called that. You just have to be careful. You have to get your hands inside the shoulder pads, not outside the shoulder pads. And so it's going to bring a third down in 10, as it's going to be, I believe, they're going to call it a spot foul. So third down and 10, Lynx, Colbeck, Johnson, over to Hilton. Great catch over the middle. Jackson Hilton, and a great pass by Colbeck. Put it where he could only catch it in Jackson Hilton, and that's going to be a big gainer for the Lynx, as it's going to bring the ball down to about the 13. No, let's see here. It's going to be about the 18-yard line.
You know, that ball was right out in front of him, and some receivers allow the ball to get into the body. He just snatched it out of the air and kept running.
Colbeck with the keeper. No, he fakes me out and gives it to Tate Johnson. And gives it to the draw. That pistol formation, and the quarterback's really, what the quarterback does out of that pistol formation, Bob, is he's reading the defensive end. If the defensive end collapses on him, he's going to give it to the running back. If that defensive end stays home, well, he's going to try to do the opposite. And so that's just they have that down so pat in that backfield. It's super nice to have. Colbeck out of the shotgun. He has got a fullback to his left. Tate Johnson behind him. He's going to run it in. Touchdown, Lynx. The Lynx capitalize on another. We talked about field position and what field position's playing in this early in this ball game, and it's so true so far. First series for the Tigers. Go for it on fourth down. Don't get it. Okay, gives them great field position. Second series. Basically, you have a great return, good field position. Then the botched punt from the Tigers gives the Lynx more good field position, and they have really capitalized on all three times. And they're going for two. Colbeck pitches it to Johnson, and they're going to get it. And that's a great call by the coaching staff as Colbeck out of the shotgun formation, kind of runs an option to his left, pitches it to Tate Johnson, and that's going to bring back that extra point that they missed. It wasn't an extra point miss. It was a 2-point conversion that they missed earlier in the first quarter. So now it is 21-0 early in the second quarter, Bob.
Yeah, the quarterback put a lot of pressure on the end that was doing contain. He made him commit to taking the quarterback, because if he goes out, quarterback's cutting it up in, and he's going to score himself. So as soon as he took the quarterback out of the play and he knew he was coming or committing, pitched it out, and it was right to the corner of the end zone.
And tremendous job. If you get good field position, you got to capitalize on it. You just have to. And that offense for the Lynx has been tremendous. But hats off to the other flip side of the ball, too. The defense has been playing pretty good ball tonight so far for the Lynx.
Yeah, on that last drive, they had to overcome 2 10-yard penalties to get that touchdown.
Yeah, and that's tremendous, and that's just great work. The coaching staff for the Lynx has always been tremendous, and they're doing a phenomenal job tonight also. Number 40 for the Lynx, Zach Brummel's on to kick, and he's going to kick it deep. I believe this is going to be in the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback for the Lynx. So the Harrisburg Tigers, they're going to start at the 20-yard line. And Harrisburg, you talked about the last series being a big series for them, they almost have to score here. I mean, they have to capitalize on something here. Don't you agree?
I would say that the deeper it gets into the game without scoring or even without carrying some momentum, the more pressure it is on the team to execute, and that's when mistakes start to happen.
And that might take them out of their running game, as Knuth's going to be in the pistol formation, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, and he fakes the throw. He's going to give it to Clayton. Clayton's going to bounce up to about the 26-yard line, and so that's going to be a 6-yard gain. I was completely wrong. I thought they would just come out throwing the ball. Well, at some point you're going to have to. You're going to have to start getting big chunks of yards, because not only, I know it's 21-0, but that clock always keeps on churning when you're not picking up a first down and you're running the ball. Knuth with a fake pass again. He's going to give it over to Clayton. And is he going to gain the first down? I believe he does. And up to about, they're going to spot it at the 31. Lynx defense has, in that drive, gave the Lynx defense some time to rest, too. And that's always a good thing.
Although the running plays have been their best plays so far this game.
I agree. Knuth out of the shotgun. Clayton behind him. 2 receivers to his right, and he's going to throw. No, he doesn't. He gives it to Clayton. He's met in the backfield, breaks a tackle, but then there's probably 8 Lynx players in on that tackle. And that's a sign of a really, really good defense, is everybody swarming to the ball. But one thing, everybody's focused on that, but what I looked at in the back of that was our safety stayed home. He didn't creep up. And that safety always has to stay home, and that's a sign of a really, really good defense. When everybody's swarming to the ball, in your deep safety, your free safety is staying home. Knuth with 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and Clayton in the backfield. He's going to throw. He goes over to his single receiver. Great catch by Rollinger. He breaks a tackle, and he is off to the races, and I believe it will be a touchdown, and it is. And the Harrisburg Tigers get on the board with a big, big pass from Knuth, and it was just a simple slant pattern. Safety does not make the tackle, and you see number 6 there. He's got some speed, and he broke it open.
He did. They've been running that play where the running back's coming up and they do a fake to the running back to kind of see what the linebackers are doing. In that particular one, they ran it again just like the other ones, and this time the quarterback kept it, and it caused the secondary to pause just for a minute, and that gave them that opening.
And on for the extra point is going to be number, I believe, 9. That's going to be Bryce Soley on for the extra point. We have a 21-6 ball game with a big play from Knuth to Rollinger on that big touchdown like we talked about. And it's good. The extra point's good. So now we have 21-7, and it's still early in the second quarter, Bob. But we talked about how this drive for Harrisburg is so key to what they're going to do in this football game, and they just opened it up.
Yeah, like I said, the running back or the running game had been working for them, doing the play action, giving it to the running back, getting the linebackers and stuff to kind of stop their motion. And this time they said, all right, we'll do a fake, and it was wide open. That was a big play for the team, and all of a sudden we got us the ball game.
Well, they're used to scoring. How many points per game was it?
Well, they're averaging about 40 points a game.
So they're not used to having zeros, I'm sure. Not having a 0 on the scoreboard coming to the second quarter. They're just not used to that. And that is a high-powered offense with a big-time quarterback, and Rollinger has stepped up big early in this football game.
Yeah, the defensive backs, when they're guarding him now, they got to be worried. Do you stay the line and give them a good bump before they go and worry about them getting over top of you, or do you give them a little space and then you're susceptible to the short pass and run? And Bryce Soley is going to be on to kick for the Tigers. 21-7 ball game, 8 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the first half. I believe Mark Muchenhaus is back deep for the Lynx. He is the one that returned the kick last week against the Washington Warriors, and they're not even going to try to kick to him, and that's going to be Parker Reed
He's the defensive end is going to pick it up on that pooch kick, and I think that was designed. I really do, Bob.
It absolutely was. You don't want to risk throwing it to, getting it to the deep guy and letting him run wild. Put it to the up guys, which are typically more of a blocker style, and you can go from there.
But it does give the Lynx, what does it give them again? This is the 4th series. It's going to give them a really good field position again at about the 35-yard line. Lynx football moving left to right. Jackson Hilton and Peyton Carroll to the right, the 2 receivers, Wickersham and Tate Johnson. Colbeck's going to design draw to the left. He's going to pick up big yards again. I believe he's going to pick up about 7. Well, the side judge moved back 1, so maybe it's 6 yards. They're going to give him, so up to about the 41-yard line, but it's going to bring up a 2nd and 4, and that opens up your playbook big time. You can take a shot down the field. You can really do a lot with your playbook here on 2nd down. Jackson Hilton to the left, I formation, double tight end set, motions to the left, and that's Vegans. He's going to give it to Tate Johnson. Tate Johnson's going to run. He has nothing and finds nothing. He found a host of Tiger defenders. So he's not going to gain any yards, and he's not going to lose any yards there. So it's going to bring up a big, and this is early in this ball game, 3rd and 4. Jackson Hilton comes to the sideline. He's a little banged up. I don't know what's wrong with him, but that big play receiver comes to the sideline on a big 3rd and 4.
Yeah, he was hanging his shoulder a little bit, hanging his arm.
2 receivers to Colbeck's right. He's going to roll out. He sees Tate Johnson, doesn't find him, but he finds his receiver in number 18, Carson Mashlin. We haven't called his name a lot this year, but that's a really, really big first down. But the patience that Joel Colbeck had while he was rolling right, he could have just dumped it to Tate Johnson. I don't think that would have gave you the first down, but he found his 2nd-level receiver, and that's just a big first down.
I would like to think that my mental telepathy was going to the sidelines for the coaches, because I was just saying, as much success as they're having with the quarterback roll out and run, why not fake that and hit a guy in the secondary deal? And that's exactly what they did. I thought it might have been to number 11.
First down, Colbeck wants to throw. He's not going to find his receiver Mashlin again. He's going to keep it, and I don't think he gained a yard there, Bob. I think he may have lost a yard.
Yeah, it looks like they did. They're marking him a yard back.
So as the Lynx cross the 50-yard line, they're going to bring up 2nd down, and I believe 11 as Colbeck wanted Mashlin again over the middle, number 18, the receiver for the Lynx, and he didn't find it. You don't want to make a big turnover here either. You want to force a throw and throw an interception. Colbeck with Wickersham to his right and Tate Johnson to his left. Runs the option to his left, and he pitches it right as he's getting tackled. Great awareness by Colbeck. Pitches it, and he would have maybe gained 1 yard. Colbeck would have, because he was getting tackled, but he pitches it to Tate Johnson, and I believe they're going to gain about 5 yards. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 5. Big down here. And if you don't get it, Bob, do you think that the Lynx will be aggressive and go for it on 4th down?
I absolutely do. I don't think it's time to take your foot off the gas. You do what got you here.
3rd down, 3 receivers to his right, motions Tate Johnson to his right, gives it to Johnson. Johnson breaks over, open to the sideline, cuts back, big move, touchdown. And do we have a flag on the play?
I believe the official's going to mark him out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
Oh, boy, but that's going to be a first down. That was a great cutback, though.
It was a great cutback, and I don't necessarily know that I saw that, but that's what the official marked, so we got to go with that.
We do, and so it's going to bring up a first down as Tate Johnson. They ran that jet sweep from left to right with Tate Johnson, put about 3 receivers to the right to block for him, and he busted it open.
You know, he was jogging, and all of a sudden he put on the afterburners when he got to the corner.
He did. And that's going to be, I believe they're going to call a timeout. It's going to be timeout Brandon Valley, like Bob talked about, as Tate Johnson kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit with jogging and then just kicks it into that fourth year, and then he's gone.
Well, that's just how athletic he is. He's probably running faster than I could in my life, and then all of a sudden he turns on the afterburners, and it just looks like he's running effortlessly.
Right. And Tate Johnson with just a big gainer, because we talked about, are they going to go for it on fourth down? Well, we don't even have to think about that now, as Tate picks up a big first down, and really the Lynx offense just hasn't been stopped in this first half.
They're blocking very well. They're executing what they need to execute. They aren't running anything super fancy, but they're just executing it very well, and Harrisburg hasn't been able to stop it.
So what we've seen tonight is a lot of Joe Colbeck, a lot of Tate Johnson, a lot of Clayton from the other side, a lot of Rollinger from the other side. We're talking about the Tigers, and that really good throw from Knuth there. And we've seen a little bit of sprinkle from Colbeck's been spreading the ball out somewhat with Carroll and Jackson, Hilton, and Mashlin from the receiver side, and Vegans from the tight end side in that opening drive.
Good news, Jackson Hilton is back in the game, number 11.
Good
so
deal.
He must have just got a little bit of a stinger there, and they got it taken care of, and that brings in a big weapon for them. I would not surprised to see him fake to the outside and go for the end zone to number 11.
Two tight end set as they're going to fake it to Tate Johnson. I think you're correct. They're going to go to Carroll again. Hey, they wanted Hilton. He was kind of the decoy there. If we want to talk about that, Bob, that's what I thought.
He was heading exactly where I knew he was going to go.
Right.
But all the defense went that way, and it opened up the guy in the right corner.
Yeah, and Peyton Carroll busts open for the touchdown from Colbeck. Great throw from Colbeck. Colbeck took his time, and that's what we want to see out of Joe Colbeck. We know he can run the ball from the backfield, from the quarterback position, but he throws a big-time throw to Carroll, touchdown. And the extra point is good. Your Lynx up 28-7 in this 11 AAA matchup. 5:58 to go. First half, you hear the Lynx band playing, I believe, or maybe not. Is it the band, or is it the loudspeakers? I believe it's the loudspeakers. But the fight song,
I was going to give credit to the band.
the Lynx fight song going off right now, and they've been able to do that 4 times already in this first half. We talked about how the Tigers are not used to only putting up 7 points so far in the football game. But what I watched that Lincoln Tigers game, especially the fourth quarter of it, and you got to watch out for this offense from the Tigers. You cannot play on your heels defensively for the Lynx. You can't take them lightly at all.
A lot of games fall apart when you get a big lead. You take your foot off the throttle. The other team comes back, gets a little momentum, and you can't get it back. It's important that the Lynx keep their foot on the gas.
Zach Brummel is on to kick for the Lynx. 2 players back for the Tigers on the receiving side. Moving left to right, your Lynx, and there's the kick. It's a short kick, not like the others. The Tiger receiver is going to pick it up, and he's going to scamper up about to the 24-yard line. And that's going to give the Tigers the ball at the 24-yard line. Did you get the number on that, Bob?
What I was going to point out is the number 24 maintained his lane on the outside and did not allow the return guy to get to the outside, and that's what allowed the rest of the defense to catch up.
And that was
Tristan Bisbee.
Tristan Bisbee. Good job, Tristan. As the Tigers are going to come out of their offensive package, we've seen a lot of 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and Clayton behind Knuth. Shotgun formation going to give to Clayton. Clayton is met up the middle on that draw, and he's not going to gain anything. I believe he's going to lose a yard. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 11. It seems like they're a little – if I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm looking at this game plan, it really seems like they're predictable on first down. They've ran the ball almost consecutively on every first down for the Tigers. Knuth out of the shotgun, Clayton behind him, same formation. He's going to find Rollinger, and Rollinger wants a flag from that receiver position. They're not going to call it. Great coverage from the Lynx as that ball was just outstretched for Rollinger.
Yeah, the defensive back was right on him. I mean, it was tight coverage. They're letting him play a little bit, which is okay, because that works both ways.
And that's going to be number 14, and that's going to be Noah Thompson on the coverage from the Lynx. 3 receivers to Knuth's right, 2 to his left. He's going to drop back. He's going to he gets tremendous pressure from Spencer Owen, and it's intercepted by the Lynx as Knuth forces that throw as he was trying to learn, Bob, from his first mistake on the first drive where he ran out of bounds and lost 9 yards. Well, this time he forces a throw, doesn't go out of bounds, and it's a massive interception, gives the Lynx tremendous field position.
Yeah, the secondary person was definitely keeping an eye on what the quarterback's eyes were doing, and he could see that he was going to let one go, and he just jumped the route.
It started with pressure from the Lynx defensive line as they forced him to the right. And you can't blame Knuth for trying to make a play, though. Lynx offense on the field again, I formation behind Colbeck. He's going to give it to Johnson. Johnson's going to burst up to about the 17 to 18-yard line. And that's going to be about a six-yard game, maybe 5 yards. Now they're going to call it 6. So it's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Lynx as they're going to try to drive this clock down too, as they're up 28-7 right now over the Tigers. Same formation, pistol formation for Colbeck. He's going to option to the right. He keeps it, cuts it up to the middle, and he's going to find a lane. Is he going to get it? No, he is just tripped up right at the 1-yard line. I thought he was going to get there, Bob.
Again, got that magical shoestring going through there, but he kept his balance. He got hit a couple of times going through there.
Hurry up offense for the Lynx. Colbeck under center, pitches it to Johnson. He's met in the backfield. He breaks a tackle. Touchdown. They're going to call it touchdown, Lynx. I thought I seen the ball go over the line, and it is true. He finds the end zone, and wow, look at that score, Bob.
You got to like it, but you got to keep going.
We
haven't even got to halftime yet.
Yeah, 34-7 already. 4:17 to go in this football game, and what that does to at some point they're just going to have to throw on the Tigers, the Tigers offense. They're going to just have to throw. They're going to have to take that running game out.
On that last play when they got the interception, I was watching down at this end, and the quarterback was initially really wanted to go to Rollinger right over here, but he was basically triple covered because there was 2 receivers in the same area, so he had no place to go. Then he had to go back the other way and run. He wanted to go for Rollinger down here.
Wow. Yeah, and Rollinger, he's a really, really good wide receiver, number 6, and you've already seen him catch a touchdown over the middle and burst open. But your Lynx, how about that backfield of Joe Colbeck and Tate Johnson? How do you defend that option as Colbeck on 2nd down keeps the ball, he sprints up the middle, okay, cuts it back up the middle, gets down to the 1-yard line. Then the second play, you give it to arguably the best running back in the state in Tate Johnson and say, hey, go get 1 yard, and he does.
You know, the folks who don't get the credit is the offensive line.
That's true.
Right now, they're pushing around Harrisburg pretty well. They're getting the holes. Some of the holes I might have been able to run through, but walk through maybe.
But you're exactly correct. How you win football games is at the line of scrimmage, and that's what they're doing right now. Defensively, too, Bob, is that they're creating a lot of pressure on a very good quarterback. Brummel to kick. And there's the kickoff. It's another short kick. The Tiger receiver is going to bring it up to, he breaks it open. And Brummel's your last defender, and he's actually stopped him from scoring a touchdown, and one of your Lynx came on and finished the tackle. But that is a big gainer for the Tigers. You talked about, Bob, you got to keep keep the pedal down. You can't fall asleep here at all, especially special teams and defensively for the Lynx. You can't open up that Tiger offense. You talked about, Bob, that they've scored on an average 40 points a game. That's a lot of points.
And a lot of good adjustments at halftime. Good coaching staff does that. They kind of solve what's working or not working in the first half and bring it out second half.
Knuth out of the pistol formation as a fullback. He's going to give to Clayton, and he's going to scamper up to the middle. I believe he's going to gain 5 yards. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 as they are staying true to their offense. I said it on the last series. I think every first down they run the ball. They open up with a run.
But the one time that they didn't was that long touchdown pass where they faked it and busted it over the middle on a slant.
Clayton motions to the left. They look to him. Knuth looks down the field. He's going to screen under. It's going to be to the fullback, and that's going to be number 35. That's going to be Gavin Ross, his fullback. So what they did is they try to bait him with the running back, Clayton, going to the left. That fullback just stayed home, and they ran a screen. That's a good play from the Tigers, and that's a big first down for them.
Utilizing the aggressiveness of the defensive line to get to the quarterback.
Great point. First down for the Tigers, sitting at about the 24-yard line. Knuth's going to put it up, and great coverage. I believe that's going to be by number 14 for the Lynx, and that's going to be Noah Thompson. Again, we've seen him in the last series with some really good coverage on Rollinger, and that was just about the same great coverage from him there.
Yeah, that would have taken a spectacular catch to get that one. That defensive back was right between the quarterback and right with the receiver. So,
Knuth out of the pistol formation. Clayton behind him. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and I think that's Rollinger to his right. He's going to go to Rollinger, and a big catch. That is his favorite target. We can solidify that already, right, Bob?
I believe we can. But what a tackle! He caught it. He did not get another yard.
And that's number 14 again, Noah Thompson on the coverage. He's playing man-to-man with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough task.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1 for the Tigers. It is 4-down territory for them. They're going to, I believe this is going to be the first time they're going to officially start a down inside the red zone. Knuth gives it to Clayton. No, he's going to keep it, and he's going to pick up the first down. This is a quarterback draw. They're trying to mimic maybe a little bit of the Lynx offense, as we've seen a lot of that kind of run-to-pass offense for the Lynx, as Joel Kolbeck and Tate Johnson have done a lot of that, and Kolbeck keeps it, but you've seen Knuth there. He kept it, and it's going to be a first down. Knuth, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and that's going to be Rollinger. Watch that play as a safety comes over the top. He gives it to Clayton, his running back, and he's getting a big push from his offensive line, but he's only going to gain about 2 yards, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. And with about 1:40 to go in this first half. So this is a big drive for both teams. Knuth with the pistol formation. Clayton, he rolls to his right off the play action. Finds his receiver's going to find him, and I believe it's going to be his fullback for the touchdown. And that's going to be Gavin Ross. You've seen Gavin Ross twice on this series come up with big plays. He picked up a big first down on that screen pass way back when, about at the 40-yard line, and then he catches out of that fullback position. It's really good when you have a fullback that can catch the ball.
It certainly is, and what Harrisburg is doing is they're transitioning their offense a little bit, and Brandon's taking away Rollinger, so they're going to go to the next option, and that fullback has stood up and made some big plays for him.
Bryce Soley, he's on for the extra point, and it is good. We now have a 35-14 ball game 1:23 to go in the first half. Boy, have both of these offenses really kicked it up a gear in the second quarter, as Harrisburg was shut out in the first quarter. They've come in the second quarter and scored 14 points. The Lynx have scored on every one of their possessions, Bob, on offense.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of strategy talked about at halftime for both coaches. One on the Harrisburg side is, okay, how are we going to slow down the offense a little bit? How are you going to take care of those two guys that are just rushing the ball? Well, then they've got the option to pass.
Right.
On the Brandon side is, okay, how are we going to transition a little bit to now take away the options that they found with the fullback?
Yeah, and they have to go to their second receiver, third receiver, because there's such great coverage from Noah Thompson, man-to-man coverage on Rollinger for the most part all night, except for the one touchdown. And Soley's going to kick off, and he's going to squib it down the middle. They don't take a chance, and that's going to be Spencer Owen with a big run from that defensive end. He kind of plays linebacker, middle linebacker, and defensive end for the Lynx, and he gains a chunk of yards for him. And really, I believe the Lynx, I don't know if they've called a timeout. If we can see the board, Bob, it doesn't show us timeouts remaining, but I believe we have 2 timeouts remaining. So with 1:18 to go in the first half, you can get points from this offense right now.
I think that guy that's returning the kickoff there, he's stumping for a little time at fullback.
Yeah, that's true. Jackson Hilton's going to get the jet motion running right to left. He breaks a tackle. He doesn't find anything. Finds a host of Tigers, as at least 8, maybe 9 Tigers are in on him. They weren't fooled at all. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, the defensive line got a little upfield pressure and forced Jackson to go back a little bit, and that kind of stopped the momentum going forward and allowed the rest of his teammates to catch up there. I think depending upon what happens here on this particular play, whether they're going to call a timeout for the end of the half.
Colbeck with a fake jet motion, and he's going to find his receiver, finds him, and that's going to be, I believe, we're going to see what the number is. I believe it's number 80 again, and that's going to be Peyton Carroll again with another big catch. Oh, there's a penalty on the field, as Bob just told me. I wasn't even looking back there. I was looking at the receivers.
I think illegal motion maybe, or illegal formation, one of the two.
Good call. So what that probably meant was Jackson Hilton was on the line, and he's supposed to be off the line, because they had actually three tight end set. They jet motioned Tate Johnson from left to right, and your receiver's got to be off the line, one step off the line. So now it's 2nd and 14, and that's going to negate that big gainer. 28 seconds to go. Clock's ticking, 2 timeouts remaining for the Lynx. 3 receivers to Colbeck's right. Tate Johnson's going to get the ball on the draw. He's going to scamper out to the left. He's not going to gain much, as the Tigers' defense is there to stop him. They weren't fooled at all. The Lynx look like they're going to let that clock drain down to halftime. And so at halftime, we have a battle in this 11 AAA matchup between 2 teams that are sitting at number 2 and the number 3 seed, both at 5-1 in the 11 AAA, battling for that second seed to capture that second seed and really solidify that. We know Roosevelt is sitting at number 1. They're not moving from there. That's just not going to happen. They're going to be the number 1 seed going in 11 AAA playoffs. But this game, you got to protect your home field. You got to get, you talked about, Bob, you have to get home field, somewhat of home field advantage in the playoffs, so you can have, for your seniors, for your fans, and so Lynx TV can broadcast.
There you go. There you go. They get another opportunity to hear you guys. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And we want to thank Bob Arnold for filling in tonight. I asked him, I believe 2 days ago, was it, Bob?
Yep.
Okay, I asked him, and he said, well, let me talk to my wife. And then I'd say we work at the same place, and about maybe about an hour, he comes back and meets me and says, we're good to go. So that's tremendous, and we want to thank you, Bob, for filling in as Kyle is over there on the PA system, introducing everything to the fans out there, and you've done a lot of that work, and you know that's not an easy job by any means when you're not used to it. But you know, this football game, we'll dial back to the football game, and you talked about adjustments at halftime, Bob. One thing you see from the Lynx in adjustments from past games, and I know you haven't been a part of past games so much, but you watched that last game, you watched the replay from the Warriors and Lynx, and you really seen, or 2 games ago, when Lincoln came here and the adjustments were made at halftime, and they broke the game open, the Lynx. And so really the coaching staffs, this is where they really make their money, is these adjustments at halftime and how they're going to come out. It's going to be interesting to see how much committed the Harrisburg Tigers are going to be to their run. I've been super surprised that they've committed as much as they have to the run, with the score being it was, and with a tremendous quarterback. And we've seen already his favorite target in Rollinger tonight. It's kind of, you know, you have to reset your offense a little bit out there, because now you know that number 14, Noah Thompson, for the Lynx, the corner, is now in man-to-man coverage, and he's doing a great job, okay, for the Lynx. Now, how do you adjust that? You talked about going to the fullback, where Knut did now in that last series, but how do you adjust that offense? And then defensively for the Lynx, how do you continue to put pressure on that quarterback? Because we've seen on the run, he's kind of forcing things. Okay, the first series he ran out of bounds and he lost 9 yards when he could have got rid of the ball. Okay, and then a couple series ago offensively, he throws a big interception, gives the Lynx tremendous field position, and basically gives them another score. And so, how are you going to continue to put pressure on him? You can't really blitz. You got to get pressure with the front 4, because they have 4 receivers, sometimes 5 receivers out. And then offensively for the Lynx, stay committed to what you're doing. Don't get out of your skin, out of your playbook, and stay committed and start running, you know, even run a little bit more with Tate Johnson. We usually see with the Lynx offense, he probably, I would say, gets 25 to 30, maybe on an average 30 carries per game, and I would say he's probably sitting at maybe 12 to 15 right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, and so that's going to be the adjustments. How do you do that? And I believe both these coaching staffs are really good coaching staffs, and it's going to be a battle there in the second half.
I think if I was the offensive coordinator for Harrisburg, I think the reason that Brandon has had such good luck with Rollinger is that they're running him to the outside of the hashes, deep towards the sidelines. And so the defensive back for Brandon has basically got an extra defender there. The out of bounds is one side, and then he's covering on the inside. But if I'm the Harrisburg offensive coordinator, I start running Rollinger with more patterns down the middle, making that so that they don't have that extra defense. And because he's a big, strong kid.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
Throw the ball up to him down the middle, and I think you're going to see that more in the second half. Now, if I'm Brandon, I keep running, and I keep running until they stop me, until they can prove that they can do it consistently, because you're running clock. You're controlling the ball, keeping the ball safe. You don't have to worry about interceptions like you do when you're throwing the ball all over the place. But you got a quarterback that can run an option. You got a running back. And then all of a sudden they get comfortable and they say, here comes another run, here comes another run. And then you do a play action, and you hit that number 11 across the middle. on the last touchdown they got there. He was kind of open over the middle, but they had a guy on the left end that snuck behind the linebackers.
In Carroll,
that's why it took so long for that play to develop, is that he had to hold it until he got to the end zone. But was he wide open. And what a great throw.
And that's a great decoy. That's really good by Joe Kolbeck, the quarterback for the Lynx, looking off his number one receiver, okay, and Jackson Hilton. He sees the defense collapsing towards him and going towards him, and Carroll's wide open on the right side of the end zone, and touchdown. And Carroll's played a pretty big game tonight, and I like that Joe Kolbeck has really spread the ball around. You've seen obviously Tate Johnson getting the ball a lot, and you'll see that all football game. But in the opening drive, which we haven't seen a lot this year, is they went to Vegans, the tight end, and he's a tremendous tight end, and pass catching and blocking tight end. You've seen Carroll, number 80 for the Lynx, the wide receiver, come up with some big plays tonight. Mashlin, number 18, come up with some big plays. So they're spreading the ball around. You want to see that as you go into the playoffs. You want to evolve your offense even more, so it's just not a one-man show or a two-man show. Make it a 4 to 5-man show on the offense. And then you talked about, and this is a great point, and I thank you for bringing it up, hats off to the offensive line for the Lynx. Hats off to them. I mean, they're the moving company tonight. They have moved that offense all the way down the field multiple times.
You know, as good an athlete as the quarterback is and as the running back is, you're not getting a lot of those yards without the blocking of the offensive line. But the really big runs are when you get successful blocks from your receivers that seals the edge and allows you to go.
Right, and they have to really consistently spread the ball around, I believe, because the focus is so much on Tate Johnson and Kolbeck running the ball. You got to be able to play action off that run because these defenses really surround the box. They bring 8 guys down in the box, so somebody's got to be open. And as an offensive coordinator from the offensive staff, they got to find a way to get these other players involved, and really they've done that tonight.
One thing I think that the Brandon Valley offense could do is, you know that the quarterback is really good at running the ball around the outside. I would like to see them in this half about 5 or 6 times or so. Get that quarterback rolling out to get that dead defense, and then slip a running back from the backfield around the left end into where the linebackers are vacating to cover the deal, and throw it back. I think that's going to be wide open for the vast majority of the deal because they're so cognizant of stopping the quarterback on that run.
Right. And before we go to our break here, we're going to go over our sponsors that we didn't go over in the second quarter, I believe, between the first and second. It's going to be the Platinum sponsor, Sanford Health, Sioux Valley Energy, Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, Midco Communications. The Pride sponsors are going to be Architecture Incorporated, Hinkle Electronic Materials, LLC, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence. So we'll be right back with you with the second half of this 11 AAA matchup. And welcome back to Brandon, South Dakota on Lynx TV. As we have talked about numerous times, if you're just joining us, it is a 35-14 ball game. Your Lynx over the Harrisburg Tigers in this 11 AAA matchup between the number 2 and 3 seed. The Lynx sitting at number 2 in the points. They go strength of schedule, even though they have the same actual record at 5-1. Lynx sitting at number 2 and Harrisburg right behind them at number 3. And this is a big matchup. It was a big first half, especially for the Lynx offense, Bob, as they came out firing on offense, scoring on every possession, and they had tremendous field position because of the Lynx defense.
I absolutely think that if the coach could have dialed up a defensive effort against a very good Harrisburg team, they would be extremely happy with the first half. Now it's just we got to carry that momentum, carry that defensive pressure by the defensive line, and still get the good coverage. They've done an excellent job on that Rollinger, other than the one play that went down the middle. They've done an excellent job on him, and so they've need to keep that up. And I think the going to be an excellent second half, and hopefully they can go on for the victory here.
Yeah, and you talked about, what has been a catalyst to the running game has really been the offensive line. And the defensive line for the Lynx also, give them credit, too, for forcing a really good quarterback to not be comfortable in the pocket and make some unforced errors, really, we talked about with that 9-yard loss that really put them in a bad situation and gave the Lynx the ball. And then the big interception on the Lynx side of the football really gave them about 20 to 25 yards to score. And you give a team, and what are the Lynx? They're averaging how many points per game?
The Lynx are averaging 37.
Okay.
So they're right on their whole game in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's hope that they average a few more than the 37 this game, because I got a feeling that Harrisburg's not going to go away quietly.
Yeah, that would be not a good thing, let's just call it, if the Lynx stay where the score is, or maybe get to 37. That means you're only getting about 3 points on the scoreboard in the second half.
That would be a safety, Ken.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That would be a safety, sorry. So it wouldn't be a field goal, it'd be a safety. You're exactly right. So that would be good from the defensive side of the ball, but that would say that your offense is stalled in the second half. So Lynx are going to come onto the field. They are going to get the ball as Tate Johnson and Mark Muchkenhaus is going to be back to receive for the Lynx, as Harrisburg's going to come on to kick. The Lynx really got to capitalize and on this drive. I think this sets the tone right now. When you have a score of 35-14, you can really set the tone for the second half by getting a good drive out of the opening drive.
That is absolutely correct to establish the momentum. If the Harrisburg comes out and gets a stop here, all of a sudden they got a little bit of energy and a little bit of juice to start the offense. If they come out and Brandon scores, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go. The second half's going to be just like the first half.
And Bryce Soley on to kick number 9 for the Tigers. And Tate Johnson is explosive back there on the kick return. He is deep with Mark Muchkenhaus, and he is explosive also. They do not kick to him at all like they have in the first half. And it's going to be Parker Reed again, a defensive end. 2 defensive ends have returned kicks in this football game, Bob.
I know. I'm telling you, I said earlier, I think they're stumping for a little time at fullback there.
So the Lynx offense, Joel Kolbeck, he has had a very efficient first half tonight. They have probably thrown about 7 times in the first half. That's really a lot for Joel Kolbeck in the first half. And so I like that they're opening up the offense. Let's see if they can establish a run even more in the second half. Kolbeck out of the shotgun. He's a pistol formation. His 2 tight ends are going to move left to right. Fullback in front of him, Tate Johnson. Tate Johnson's going to get the ball. He's going to find a hole, and he really didn't have any yards at the first point of contact. He spins, and he gets about 3 yards, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7.
His legs were just keep going, keep drive, and slips out of a hand, slips out of an arm.
Always moving forward, and Tate Johnson is going to play college football at Augustana University. Johnson, Colbeck, Wickersham in the backfield. Colbeck with the quarterback keeper to the draw to the right side. You get a little bit of Tate Johnson, and then you get Colbeck running down the field, cuts back to his left, touchdown Colbeck. Boy, it's such a good thing to have. I mean, when you have two tremendous runners in the backfield and Tate Johnson and Colbeck, pick your poison.
The guy that sprung that play was number 11, Jackson Hilton. He got down here, he waited until he got to the corner, and then he put a heck of a block on the secondary guy, and it was wide open and off to the races.
And we talked about establishing the second half.
I think they did.
2 plays, touchdown. And Brummel's on for the extra point. It's good. And your score early in the second half is 42-14. The Lynx open up with a big drive, a 2-play drive with Tate Johnson gobbling up about 3 yards. And all of a sudden, Joe Colbeck gobbling about 67 yards to the end zone.
That was a very well-designed, well-executed, and well-blocked play. And, I think you probably could have told Harrisburg that play was coming, and they still would have got a big gainer out of it.
Well, you talked about, Bob, that it was blocked well. Okay? The only reason that your quarterback gets 67 yards on the touchdown is because something was blocked well. Okay, so, or it was a host of players blocking well. And hats off to the offensive line, the receivers, the tight end, fullback, even Tate Johnson lead blocking coming out of the backfield there. And that's going to put the score, like we said, 42-14, 11-12 to go in the third quarter. Brummels is on to kick for the Lynx. 2 Tigers back to receive deep. And Brummels has kicked it pretty deep so far in this game. He's got 1 touchback so far. And here's the kick. And he's going to send it back about the 9-yard line. As the Tigers, he's going to break it up, and he's going to break up the sideline. Did he step out of bounds? No. But Vigans, they're going to call him out of bounds at about the 31. So special teams coming up big for the Harrisburg Tigers. We've seen 2 kickoff returns that have been big gainers for the Tigers.
And Brandon, they stayed in their lanes, but at the point when he broke through the line, the 2 outside guys got excellent blocks, and he got past that initial thrush, and then there's only the guys back that are safety that can stop that, and they forced him to kind of step out of bounds there a little bit.
Lynx on defense, same defense with the spread offense for Knuth and the Harrisburg Tiger offense. Quick throw out to, I believe, number 19. It's going to be either 18 or 19. We can't really see. It's going to be number 18. That's going to be Carter. Is it Ba Renfus? Am I correct?
I believe that's right.
Okay, perfect.
To the best of my knowledge, anyway.
There we go. Okay, but that's going to be a big first down for the opening play for the Tigers. Knuth out of the pistol formation, fullback right in front of him with Clayton behind him. He's going to give it to Clayton. He is met in the backfield, and that's going to be their tremendous defensive end, Parker Reed, from his defensive end position for the Lynx with a big stop, and I don't believe he gained a yard on that one.
Was that wannabe fullback that runs back some kickoffs?
Yeah. Yep, that's probably, I'm not being too biased here, but probably the best defensive end in the state. Knuth out of the shotgun, rolls to his right. He doesn't look to throw. He looked to keep it the whole time, and he's going to be forced out of bounds with a gainer of about 3 yards.
I think you're going to see this is 2 down territory here when you're down this far. You've got, about 3rd and 6. And I think you're going to see a try to the end zone here.
Knuth out of the shotgun pistol formation. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Blitzing linebacker from the Lynx comes up to the line, forces him to the right, and almost intercepted again, as you've seen the Lynx pressure force Knuth a ton to his right. And he's forcing that pass, and that was a forcible throw, too, and that could have been intercepted, Bob.
Yep, it was definitely tipped by the linebacker, but he's got happy feet back there. He's not comfortable back in the pocket, and even when he's running, the defense is doing a good job of funneling him to the sideline.
Knuth with the same formation as the last down. 3 receivers to his right and left. Motions Clayton, his running back, to his left. Looks left, goes right. Tries to find his receiver, Rollinger, number 6, but they're going to call holding.
There's a flag on the play.
Pass interference, maybe. We're going to see what the penalty's about. We believe that it's going to be pass interference on the Lynx, and the Lynx defense looks like it is. The fans don't like it at all. And we will hear from our referee. It's going to be pass interference on the Lynx. It's going to give them an automatic first down.
I think the reason that they called that is that the ball was right there, and he kind of interfered with his ability to reach up and grab the ball.
First down and goal from the 7-yard line. Knuth with a 3 tight end set. And, boy, it was a fake. And I don't think that's Knuth in the backfield. I believe it's going to be Rollinger, as they like to bring in this Wildcat offense that they have. It's always questionable when you take out one of the top quarterbacks in the state. And they're going to go to the line. 3 tight end set. It's going to be number 5 throwing the ball, I believe. Or is that number 6, Bob?
No, number 6 is in there.
Okay, Rollinger rolls out to his right, incomplete.
Excellent position on the defensive back there to break up the pass.
Now they're going to move Knuth back. He was in on that series at wide receiver. They're going to move Knuth back to the quarterback position, as they kind of wasted those 2 downs without their quarterback at the wide receiver or at the quarterback position. Knuth, 3 receivers to his left, motions his running back, fires, touchdown. Great catch by Rollinger over on the right. Tremendous catch. It was over his head by a mile, and he went and got it.
Yes, he definitely went up. He's a very athletic receiver, and I got a feeling you're going to see a lot more passes his direction in the second half here.
And Knuth with a fireball out there. It was a rocket, and you had to go get it, and Rollinger did.
The defense wasn't going to get that if it wasn't the receiver. It was just going to go out of bounds.
And so the Tigers put points on the board. It is now 42-20. It is a ball game, folks, as Bryce Soley is going to come on to kick the extra point for the Tigers. And it's a fake with Knuth bringing it from the holding position. He's just going to fire it into the end zone. It's going to be an ill-advised pass. No good. So it's going to put our score at 42-20 as they try to go for 2, the Tigers offense. And so what do? That was some of the catalyst of that drive was a pass interference call. That's going to give you a spot foul, and that's going to bring it all the way down. That ended up bringing the ball down to the 7-yard line, Bob. But that drive was really good from the Tigers. You talked about, I think we're going to see now a lot of passing, and especially from Knuth to Rollinger.
Yep, I would totally agree. I think they're going to have to. They're going to have to get some points in a hurry.
And so now it is it's a 3 score ball game. And it's still in the third quarter, folks, with 9:33 to go in the third quarter. I mean, that's a lot of football time. I mean, you got basically a quarter and 3/4 of a quarter left.
Well, you can see what Brandon Valley does. It takes them a couple plays and bang, they break one. Well, it's the same way with the Harrisburg offense. They've got some playmakers, and it takes one good pass, a missed tackle, and they're off to the races.
Solely on to kick for the Tigers. They have not wanted to put it in the hands and the return team of Johnson and Muchkenhaus. They've squibbed every other kick, and they do it again. And it's going to be Parker Reed again with the return, and he's going to make that defender pay. He did there as he ran over the defender. He is down, but that again gives. I don't know if I like that every time, because that automatically really gives the Lynx offense great field position every possession that you get it on the kickoff. It just does. And I don't know if you give them an extra, let's just say 25 yards extra every kickoff return.
Yeah, I think they're just too worried about the deep back guys taking it back to the house.
And the Lynx offense is going to come out to the field at about the 35-yard line, moving left to right. Both tight ends moving left to right also in motion. And Tate Johnson with the ball. He's going to scamper up to the right. Nobody there. Breaks a tackle. Great broken tackle. And he breaks another tackle. He is tight roping that sideline. And that's a big gainer. I think we both looked back in the backfield or over the field to see if we could see flags. No flags.
They're easy to spot on a nice green field like this.
Right. So that's going to be a big gainer from about the 35-yard line all the way down to the 30-yard line on the other side of the 50 for the Lynx and Tate Johnson. Opening up Tate Johnson is not a bad thing in the backfield for the Lynx in this second half. Colbeck with two tight ends moving right to left in motion. Gives it to Tate Johnson to his left, about the same play, but he's going to be tripped up by a Tiger defender. And that's going to be about a 2-yard gain. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8. And you can see the Lynx not in a big hurry here. You can see that they're methodically playing that play clock down as you're sitting at about 20 seconds to go in the play clock. They're just taking their time, and that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake down here. You've did all the dirty work to get down here. Let's get some points on this drive.
Hilton, Carroll at wide receiver to your right. Colbeck with a quarterback draw that they had loved all night. It produced a touchdown the last drive, and that's going to produce about 3 to 4 yards there on that carry. It's going to bring up a 3rd down in about, they're going to say 5 yards. So a big 3rd down here, Bob. It's I would think if the Lynx offensive staff doesn't get it here, I think Coach Garrow will go for it.
I would tend to agree at this stage of the game here.
Colbeck with the spread offense. Hilton motions to the right. Now he's in the backfield. They pitch it to him. He breaks open. Big block from Vigans, but he doesn't gain much of anything there. He made it gain 1 to 2 yards on that 3rd down, as he had a big block from his tight end. It just didn't pop open. Great, tremendous defensive play to stop a really good wide receiver. Hurry-up offense for the Lynx. Colbeck fakes the pitch to Johnson. He doesn't find anybody, but he's got wide open spaces to the left. He keeps it, and he picks up a big 1st down. That's really hard for a defensive end or outside linebacker. I don't know what was there, but to catch Joel Colbeck on the outside.
Well, it is, because they really wanted the receiver cutting across the middle, and when he didn't have it, he just used pure athleticism to get to the outside and turn that corner.
So a big 1st down again for the Lynx as Tate Johnson's gained a 1st down, and now Joel Colbeck with a 1st down for the Lynx on this drive. So 1st down and goal from about the 9-yard line. Full house backfield for Joel Colbeck in the Lynx. Gives it to Tate Johnson, and we'll see if he scores. He does. And that was just a whole set of offensive linemen and tight end right in front of him, and then he had two fullbacks, probably a tight end and a fullback in front of him, and they just led block, and boom, you're in the end zone.
That was just a physical play. We're going to tell you we're going to run it up the gut, and we're just going to do it, and you got to stop us.
Right, exactly.
And right now they do not have any answer for that.
They don't, and it's a 48-20 ball game. 7:24 to go in the third quarter. Brummel's on to kick the extra point to try to put it at 49 points for the Lynx, and I believe he does, and he does. So it's 49-20. We talked about at halftime the Lynx, if they only scored 2 points, right? You kind of made fun of me there a little bit,
to get to their season average.
Right, to 37. Well, now they're way above that. We're sitting at 49 points already scored with 7:24 to go in the third quarter. We're boiling down to right around the midway point of the third quarter, and still, this is the tail of the game, okay? Special teams and defensively for the Lynx, and it's by design from the Tigers. They've given the Lynx offense great field position every possession, and the Lynx have capitalized on that, on those possessions, on that great field position with every single series that they've gotten the ball. They've scored, except the one going into halftime, and that was it.
Right, and I don't necessarily know after that one penalty that they necessarily wanted to score there. They just wanted to not risk anything.
And there's kind of an onside kick maybe.
He was a little pooch kid trying to catch him off guard. Now, this is a big series for the Lynx. You can look at the score. It's 49-20, and you say, how can it be a big series with a 29-point lead? Well, Harrisburg just scored their last time they had the ball on offense. You need to shut that down and not let them build any momentum and think that they can continue to do that.
Right. So you got a 29-point, lead. That's basically 4 scores, okay? You can't go into, with this offense, I don't believe you go into a real prevent defense. I think you got to be ultra aggressive still. Knuth with 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, and they're going to run the ball. And it's going to be to Clayton, and he's going to gain about 3 yards. And I think the Lynx defense will take that.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, you got to make them earn it. And right now the passing offense hasn't been super stellar for Harrisburg. So if you're going to try to take away the running backs and the rushing game, make them pass.
Right. And so as they're taking their time, we've seen the Tigers go into a hurry-up offense. You would think they would be in a hurry-up mode all the rest of the second half. They're taking their time a little bit, and that's okay. Knuth out of the pistol formation, drops back. He's looking down the field, doesn't find anybody. Great pressure from the Lynx, and there is at least 2 Lynx there on the sack, and that's going to be number, I believe, 57 for the Lynx, and Dominic Turner, and it's also going to be number 4, Owen Warren on the sack, and you could have gave a half a sack to another player. There was 3 there.
Yeah. They had some openings down the middle. I know we talked about at the break a little bit that the opening in the defense seems to be right behind the linebackers, but they didn't give them the time to get back and get set for that guy to get there.
Knuth with 4 receivers now to his right, 1 to his left, and that's going to be Rollinger. It's going to be design draw, and it works, and he's off to the races. And he's going to go across the 50 down to about the 36-yard line, and that was completely a design draw, as they knew that the defensive ends and defensive line is going to pin their ears back and come after them, and they designed that, and that's a big gainer for the Tigers. Knuth out of the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left and right, and Clayton in the backfield. He fires. No, he pulls it back down. Still has pressure as he's going to try to find his receiver. Is it going to be intercepted? No, it's caught. Touchdown, Tigers. Great catch as Knuth took a chance. Let's just say he took a chance.
Well, he threw it up, and he said, let's see if my receivers can help me make a play here. they've got some big, tall receivers, and they just went up and got it.
Boy,
In fact, I think he might have even tipped it to himself there to get the touchdown.
Yeah, the Lynx safety come underneath the ball, didn't play the ball real well there, and it went right over his head, tipped, like you said, Bob, and it's a touchdown. So now we have a 49-26 ball game with Soley on for the extra point for the Tigers. Kick is up, and it is good. So 49-27 ball game, high scoring ball game so far. That's what we expected out of this football game. There's two offenses that can put a ton of points on the board. You talked about the Lynx at 37 points per game and the Tigers sitting at 40 points per game. Well, that equals about 77 points if I'm doing my math right. And so we're close to that right now. Right. So
76.
Right. So we're 1 point behind both their averages combined. And
with a quarter and a half to play.
Yeah, and so I believe they're going to shatter those point per game averages in this ball game. So two high-powered offenses on that drive. Knuth he was forced a ton in that series by the defensive line, but he put the ball up, and I thought, boy, that's really risky as the ball's going in the air, but it finds his receiver and it's a touchdown.
What do they call it? Hail Mary?
Yeah, throwing off your back foot too, about probably 35 yards to 40 yards down the field.
Yeah, he threw it up way high to have his receivers go up and make a play for him.
Solely on to kick for the kickoff for the Tigers. And it's going to be Tate Johnson's first attempt at a return. They didn't want to do it. They did it, and he breaks it open, and Buddy gains it up to about the 33 to 34-yard line, and that's where your Lynx offense is going to start with the ball. Every series, besides the last series that the Lynx really drained the clock and went into halftime, they've scored. So 99% of the series tonight they've scored on. And the Lynx really need to do that on this series to keep the momentum going. You don't want that shift to happen here.
That's right. Like we talk about momentum, that can be a fickle thing.
Colbeck out of the pistol formation, two receivers to his right, pitches it to Tate Johnson. Tate Johnson's going to break about 3 tackles, but he's going to be bottled up after about a 3-yard gain. You can see out of number 21 in Johnson, his feet never stop moving. He's always moving forward.
It looks like we've got a player that's down on the field just a little bit. Number 21 or 27, Timon Long for the Tigers.
And that will stop the clock as both teams will go to the sideline as an injured player. We'll go over our sponsors again, our anchor sponsor for Lynx TV. They are Avera Medical Group, McGreevy, Brandon, Sanford Clinic, Family Medicine in Brandon, Service First, Federal Credit Union, and Sanford Orthopedics. The founding members and sponsors are Alliance Communications, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Pharmacy, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency Incorporated, Heartland Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Sunshine Food Store, Today's Family Dentistry. The platinum sponsors, Sanford Health, Sioux Valley Energy, Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, and Midco Communications. And your pride sponsors, Architecture Incorporated, Hink Electronic Materials LLC, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence. Thank you all for the support that you give and the sponsorship you businesses give so we can bring this, especially in 2020, to be able to bring this live coverage to people at home that don't feel like they can't come to a football game or don't want to. We're bringing it to you live tonight.
Very, very important. Mr. Long for Harrisburg, they were checking out his left knee. Looks like he's walking off underneath his own power with a little bit of limp, but
that's always good to see.
That's always good to see, and a good show of sportsmanship from all the fans, giving him a big round of applause.
All right, Lynx offense and 2nd down and 7 from about the 36-yard line. Colbeck, empty formation. He's going to motion Johnson. He's going to keep it as Colbeck keeps it to the left. Big gainer. I believe he's going to get the first down. No, he's going to be about a yard short.
That was a good tackle to take him out of bounds and stop that forward momentum, or he would have got that first down.
So now 3rd and 1 for the Lynx as they're going to go to a hurry-up offense real quick here to catch the Tigers off guard. They start in a heavy formation, go to a spread formation. I formation to Tate Johnson. He finds the first down and gains a ton more. He's going to gain about 8 yards on that carry, and that creeps up to about the 48-yard line, almost at the 50.
When I was watching that first formation, and they had Jackson Mullet as a fullback in that particular location, and then they shifted him back to left tackle.
Oh, boy. That's great athleticism from that left tackle. He's a tremendous football player. Colbeck out of the shotgun, empty formation, motions Johnson to the right. Oh, just outshoots, I believe, his tight end. No, it's going to be Carroll, his wide receiver, number 80. Down the middle of the field, up the hashes, just outshot him. I mean, to be honest with you, he was wide open.
He had the separation that you need, and but it was a good thrown ball, just a little bit too far.
But
that shows you the arm, though.
I love that from the offense. Keep them honest. Keep the defense honest. Keep them safeties high, because if you keep on taking shots, then safeties stay high. That opens up your running game even more. Colbeck, pistol formation. Lead draw with Tate Johnson in front of him. Colbeck's going to gain a chunk of yards. He's going to get the first down in about 3 more yards. He's still not down. He's carrying at least 3 Tiger defenders as he gains another probably 4 yards with just effort.
With about 4 people hanging on his back.
Right. Joel Colbeck, we know from years in the past, basketball and football has just been a tremendous athlete, and he's shown it there. But one thing he showed leadership. He's not going to just lay down when the defender's on him. He's going to fight for more yards, and that's what you want from your quarterback position. Colbeck out of the shotgun in 3 tight ends formation. And there's the option to the right. Colbeck's going to keep it, and he's going to break loose. And he scores. I don't even know how to even call that. Joel Colbeck on the design draw. We've seen it a ton tonight. Tate Johnson, I mean, it was just a tremendous run. He ran over that defender.
He did, and the last 7-8 yards was just sheer effort to get there to maintain his balance.
What was the last quarterback? You've seen it in college. You're a USD guy, right?
Yeah.
That's my guess. Okay.
Well, I followed him.
What was that last quarterback? Was it Strevler?
Strevler, yep.
He used to run like that, right?
He did. and all he did was end up being the winning quarterback in the Canadian Football League's Grey Cup, and he's the backup quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals right now.
Yeah, that reminded me of him. Did it remind you a little bit of him?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And Joe with a tremendous run. Touchdown Lynx, as it is now a 56-27 ball game. Extra point was good from Brummels. It is now back to a 29-point lead.
You know what, Joe? You got to keep putting points on the scoreboard. You can't take your foot off the throttle.
Boy, he just wanted it on that drive, didn't he?
He did.
Those last 2 runs were tremendous.
And I think the defense stopped a little bit when they thought he was going down, but he managed to put his hand down on the ground to keep his balance.
What kind of weapon is that? So you got arguably the best running back in the state behind you. It has the most yards in the state, okay, at the AAA level, the Metro. And then you throw a quarterback like that back there that has shown you he can throw the ball tonight. But what can he do with his legs?
Exactly. Like I said, that's a high reward, low risk when you're doing that.
Oh, boy. That tremendous backfield. But hats off again. You touched on it a couple times, Bob, and I'm glad you did. That offensive line, the blocking's got to be tremendous tonight. And they're just the moving company tonight. That's what they are. They're moving it down the field, the ball down the field.
Instead of 2 guys in a moving truck, you've got 5 guys and a quarterback that can carry the ball.
Right. And there's the kick from Brummels as number 3, Lincoln Botel. He is going to, I believe, no, it's Ben Luce. He's going to receive it at about the 31-yard line. It was a fair catch. So Harrisburg's offense comes to the field with 3:40 to go still in the third quarter, and we got a host of points on the board, 56-27. Lynx with a commanding lead so far, 4 scores, 29-point lead, and we've seen that back and forth. But boy, has that Lynx offense been a high-powered offense tonight. Knuth out of the pistol formation, 3 receivers to his right. And I believe it's going to be maybe delay a game. It's going to be. So it's going to be delay a game for the Harrisburg Tigers. You just don't want negative yards here if you're a Tigers fan and that Tiger offense. Knuth out of the shotgun, and he's going to give it to Clayton. I thought it was a fake. It's not, and he's going to get hit.
He was stopped dead in his tracks when he got to that spot. He got around the corner, and they laid some lumber.
It was Joey Nemec with a big hit. He's saying, don't come across here. I'm going to pop you, and that's what happened. And that's kind of what you have to do. You got to take that aggression from the offense and boil it over to the defense, and the defense is playing good ball right now. Knuth out of the shotgun, 3 receivers to his left, and it's a run again. And we'll get the number on that run, but he's going to pick up the ball carriers. Anders Clayton again is going to pick up about 8 yards on that carry. The thing, when you keep the ball on the ground, you're down 29 points. Guess what that clock's doing?
It's running.
Right.
Look for a play action pass here because they got 3rd and 1. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1 at this stage of the game, but don't be surprised if you get a play action pass and then a pass over the middle.
Knuth, 3 receivers to his right. He's going to keep it. He's going to be met by the corner. I don't know if he's going to get the first down. It's going to be close, but a tremendous tackle on a big quarterback. And I believe that's going to be...
He did not get it.
Number 14.
Well, I take that back. They respotted it and got a first down.
Noah Thompson with the tackle from the corner position. But it's like Bob said, it's going to be a first down for Harrisburg. 2 minutes and about 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. Knuth out of the shotgun and Clayton right behind him. 3 receivers to his left. He's going to drop back. Looks for the screen. Doesn't have it. Tremendous pressure from Parker Reed. Knuth breaks it, and he's going to gain about, I would say, about 6 yards on that play, as the pressure's just been there all night for the Lynx.
He doesn't have time to get back and get set.
Yeah, as he wants to find a deep receiver, and he just can't find it. And hats off, because the Lynx aren't blitzing a lot. They can against that spread offense. That 4-man defensive line's beating 5 guys up front. Knuth finds his receiver, number 18, intercepted.
Right off the receiver's hands. He was looking to do some running before he brought the ball in.
So tipped off the receiver's hands. That was number 18, and that was Carter Barenfuss, I believe. That's how you
Barenfuss.
There you go, Barenfuss. And big play, Joey Nemec. Big play, Joey Nemec on that series makes the big hit on Clayton and makes a big interception on that play to give the ball back to his offense.
You know, the ball was perfectly thrown right to the receiver's hands. It just, he was looking to run upfield before he looked the ball in and skipped off his hands.
And nothing the quarterback can do there. He's just got to make a good throw, and that's what he did. Lynx offense with the I formation from Colbeck to Johnson. Johnson is met in the backfield. And
might have lost a yard.
And we don't see that a lot from Tate Johnson. We don't see a lot of penetration from defensive lines on the offensive line for the Lynx offensive line. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 11, and we're going to be sitting at about 1:20 to go when this ball snapped. Colback under center, I formation, play action to Johnson, finds the receiver. It's going to be underthrown to Carroll. Carroll's really been his go-to receiver tonight. Don't you agree?
I would. He's been open, but I think Carroll's, as he went to make his cut and come back for the ball, it kind of slipped on the turf a little bit, and the ball was a little underthrown, but not terribly. But
I like the play action. The play actions always should work when you have a tremendous running game. 3rd down and 11 for your Lynx. We haven't seen a lot of 3rd down and 11s tonight from the Lynx offense. 3 receivers to his right. Colbeck drops back, has time, looks for the screen. He's going to run, picks up a big block, and holy smokes, we might have seen one of the biggest blocks, and
we got a flag on the play.
There is flags all over. I think the Harrisburg coaching staff's also going to get a flag on them because one of their coaches came onto the field. We'll see what happens here. Well, as they sort it out, I don't think that was an illegal block. Do you?
He could see it coming. It wasn't from behind, and it was face to face. Now he might not have in his eyes. He had his eyes on the quarterback, but we shall see. I'm not an official.
Right. I wanted your opinion, Bob. You know, I mean,
I would say no. That's not illegal. It looks like a bad play, but.
Right.
But it looked to me like he was square up with the defender. And
they might have a holding call somewhere else, but I know from the sideline judge on the far end, the Tigers coaching staff, I believe, they got a flag thrown on them for coming onto the field. And as they sort it out, we're going to get our answer. And there are 2 flags on the play. Ineligible receiver downfield for the Lynx. That's a 5-yard penalty. So 5 yards back for the illegal player downfield and a 15-yard penalty on the Harrisburg sideline. As we talked about, one of their coaches came onto the field and they called it. And so that's going to bring up a 3rd down now, and we'll see where it's marked. They have to mark it, I believe, down even. It's got to go. So it's got to be a 10-yard gain because you got 5 yards back with a 15-yard gain, so that's 10 yards. So they'll be sitting at about the 49-yard line at about 3rd and 1 now. So it technically played out well for the Lynx.
Well, yeah, the illegal illegal man downfield was probably a lineman that got a little itchy in his block and taking it upfield a little bit. And
Colbeck out of the shotgun. Johnson with the ball and he's going to scamper up the middle. He's going to gain enough and more for the 1st down. He's going to gain about 9 yards, and that's going to keep on spinning that clock. When they set the chains on the sideline, we're at a minute to go. Lynx cross the 50-yard line where they want to be, where they've been a ton in this football game.
Again, nothing spectacular, nothing fancy. Right up the gut, right between on either side of the center, and they're just getting yards. A lot of it's effort.
Colbeck with an I formation behind him, Wickersham, and play action to Tate Johnson. He wants it deep. He doesn't find it, but he does find his crossing receiver, and we'll see who that is. And that's going to be the 2nd catch for number 15, the big tight end, Vigans, for the 1st down for the Lynx. Colbeck didn't go, so it was a play action out of the I formation, which is working tremendously tonight. He's having a ton of time. He's able to look off Tate Johnson out of that. His first option and get to a second option. Vigans coming across the field from the opposite side of the field.
That's right. He was on the left end, and he came all the way across. That's why he had to be patient and wait till they cleared the defense.
18 seconds to go, third quarter, full house backfield for the Lynx. Tate Johnson's going to run it to the left. He doesn't find anything, but then he finds a little bit more, breaks a tackle, and I believe that's going to end our third quarter with a 3-yard gain from Tate Johnson. It is. So at the end of the third quarter, your Lynx are protecting their home field right now with a score, a 56-27 lead going into the fourth quarter in this big matchup between the number 2 seed and 3 seed, both sitting at 5-1, battling for that second seed.
You know, it doesn't get any better than this. A nice crisp fall evening, 2 great football teams battling out, throwing haymakers every direction every time you turn around.
And sometimes you can't control. I mean, really on that drive, when we saw the 2 penalties, you know, sometimes coaching staffs, I don't believe it was Brandon White, the head coach, that came onto the field. I think it was one of his assistants, because I know what he looks like over on the sideline. And I am sure that the head coach is not real pleased, because that gave him 3rd down and 1 instead of probably, well, it was 5 yards back, so it would have been probably 3rd down and 11.
Yeah.
And so that's a big change.
Actually, it would have been 3rd down and 15.
Okay.
Because it was 3rd down and 10.
That's right.
And then they had 5 yards back, and then they added 15 this direction.
That's right.
Which gave us 3rd and 1.
Yeah, so that's a big penalty on your sideline. And so that's just the battle of the game, and sometimes that happens, and you just can't control it sometimes, and that's what happens. But the side judge throws the flag on them. They had a sportsmanlike warning early in the ball game in the first quarter, the Tigers. So once you start doing that again, they're going to call you with a 15-yarder the next time.
And it appears that he was maybe taking offense to the perfectly good block back here that put one of his players down pretty hard.
Right.
But this is the game of football.
Right.
That's, you know, there was nothing illegal about that block. He was right in front of him. Wasn't like he hit him from the side or behind or anything like that. So
right.
Anyway, this has been a pretty well-played football game. There's been a couple of penalties, but not an over and abundance. Not a lot of holding calls. A lot of that. We had a couple of receivers that picked up penalties trying to block for their running backs. You know, number 80 had a couple in the first half, but he's cleaned that up, and they've had some good runs since.
And the refs have really called a good ball game, like you said. They've let him play.
They've let him play.
Joe Colbeck out of the shotgun formation. He's got his fullback Wickersham to his left and Tate Johnson to his right. He leads with Tate Johnson off of Wickersham, picks up a big first down and more, as Tate Johnson's going to roll all the way down right in back of Wickersham. Wickersham's a tremendous fullback, number 42 for the Lynx. He led the way on that.
He led the way and got that push-out block, and that opened him up.
Right, and gained about another 7 yards off that first down after getting the first down. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Your Lynx offense has been in the red zone a lot tonight. Joe Colbeck out of the I formation. Play action to Tate Johnson. Finds his receiver to the right. It is tipped. Incomplete. As I believe, Bob, Joe could have held the ball a little bit more. He had a ton of time out there. Let the guys develop a little bit. He rushed his throw. And that's just the maturity of a quarterback. You just got to grow into that a little bit. And so, I mean, he had tremendous blocking in front of him. Everybody played the play action.
He did. And the linebacker that came across just got a little tip on the ball, and that slowed down the flight of it and knocked it incomplete.
So we have a 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line. Colbeck under center I formation. Jackson Hilton to his right. It's going to be pitched to Tate Johnson. Reverse back to Jackson Hilton. Wide open field. Touchdown Jackson Hilton off the reverse. Great play call by the coaching staff for the Lynx and the offensive staff. Boy, you think it's Tate Johnson going one way. You bring a tremendous receiver the other way. The whole defense is flowing one way. There's no way you're getting back to Jackson Hilton on the other side.
No, they just had too much momentum with the defense trying to slow down the running back the other way. That was a great call. And again, they hadn't done anything like that to set him up, so nothing to think that he just wasn't going to run it normally.
Touchdown Lynx as Hilton goes into the end zone, and the extra point's going to be good. It bounces off the upright. Brummel has been on point tonight with his extra points, and he just gets that one in, and it makes it a 63-27 ball game, and the Lynx are on fire.
So in the Metro Conference, do they get any extra bonus points or deal when they can bounce it off the upright and still get it through?
They might get .2. Or maybe .1. I don't know.
Style points.
Right. Anyways, it goes in. It counts no matter what. If it bounces off the top of it to the bottom of it or it goes straight through. Brummels has been really good tonight special teams-wise, hasn't he? He's kicked the ball deep for him. He's made every extra point. And we got fireworks, wherever that came from. And I'm sure it's one of the neighbors, the houses around.
That's not your house, Ken, is it?
No. We're a ways over there. So, but it's really been fireworks all night for the offense for the Lynx.
Yeah, that couldn't have been said any better. They're just on a roll. They're executing well, and Harrisburg just hasn't found a way tonight to stop it.
Right, and the Lynx are really solidifying that offense. Now, defensively, they've been playing good ball too. There's been a couple hiccups, but you know this Tigers team's used to scoring 40 points a game. They're at 27. Another kind of an onside kick.
They're trying to catch them off guard, just getting it over that front line of players. And
so Brummels kicks it kind of onside, a pooch kick, whatever you want to call it. But we've seen every time they've kicked it down the field that the Tigers have gained big yards. So they're kind of playing the playbook of Harrisburg Tigers on their kickoffs where they weren't kicking it deep. Knuth out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his. And they're going to give it to Clayton. Clayton's going to gain a chunk of yards, maybe 7 to 8 yards off the right side. They keep it on the ground. I think they're going to go into a hurry up as. Oh, no, they're going to huddle.
If nothing but for consistency, that play has seemed to be run more times than not on first down, and they seem to get yards with it.
Right. Knuth out of the pistol formation. He finds Clayton again. We've seen a host of runs from Clayton tonight, and he's going to grab the first down and some. He's down. They're down to about. They're going to mark him at about the 43-yard line, and the clock keeps on ticking on the Tigers at 9:50 to go in this football game. Knuth out of the shotgun, gives to Clayton again. 3 straight runs, and you're down by 5 scores.
Well, Ken, I don't think the quarterback is feeling too comfortable back there on dropping back to pass. They're getting some yards on the run. Well, this particular one, they stopped them good, but it's been the only yards that they've been getting recently.
I agree.
And, he's not having any time to pass. Now, I think if they skip the play action every time, he might have a little more time.
Knuth back to pass, out of the shotgun. He finds his receiver. Great throw, just out of the reach of his receiver. Really good coverage, too, by the Lynx defender.
Yeah, that defensive back was right where he should have been. Make him throw a perfect pass over the middle and make a miraculous catch. You'll take that all day long if they got to do that.
Right, just tremendous coverage like Bob said. Man, but that was a pretty throw. And we know that quarterback can throw like that. He just has not had time all night.
Well, if the defensive back wasn't right on him, he catches that ball.
Right. And he's going into the end zone. Knuth out of the shotgun. He motions Clayton to his left and wants the screen. It bounces off the fullback's hands, Gavin Ross, and it's an incomplete pass. They try to set up that screen again with Ross.
It was there.
Oh, yeah.
He threw it just a bit hard, though.
Right.
No, we got 4th down and 10. They almost have to go for it here.
Oh, absolutely. And they will, as the clock is sitting at 8 minutes to go in this football game. 63-27, Lynx over the Tigers so far. Knuth with a spread offense. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Tremendous pressure from the defensive end position. Knuth's got to scramble. He scrambles up. He's got to gain the first down with his feet. And I believe he does. They're going to move the chains. So, first down for the Tigers. And Bob just told me, I think we're into the mercy rule in varsity football in South Dakota. Knuth to the left. He scrambles, he's flushed, and he's been flushed all night. But the clock's going to keep on running even though he went out of bounds. That's the mercy rule in South Dakota. Good point, Bob.
Yeah, it is new for AAA this year.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It is. That was the only class that did not have it before this year, and they added it. Typically, the game would have been over in some of the lower classes, but in AAA, the clock just keeps running. Okay,
so any incomplete pass or any out-of-bounds play, the clock's going to keep running, like Bob just said, with the score the way it is. Knuth out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Lynx looking like they're showing a blitz. Motions his receiver to the right. Now 4 receivers to his right. He's going to look for Rawlings. He doesn't find it. Or does he find him? He does. Completed pass. It looked like the safety was about to intercept the ball.
It sure did, and it just got through his hands.
And Rollinger is going to pick up a big first down, his big target this evening, as the Harrisburg Tigers get first down and goal from about the 6-yard line. They give it to Clayton. He is met by a host of Lynx defenders. It's going to bring up a second down from about the 4-yard line. Just under 6 minutes to go in this football game. Your Lynx sitting with a lead of 63-27.
Yeah, the new mercy rule this year is if a team gets up by 35 or more, the clock is just running.
Perfect. Knuth with the play action, rolls to his right, trying to find a receiver. He is met hard, and I'm talking about the quarterback for the Lynx. Pressure by, I believe, Dahl from his linebacker position.
Knuth is getting up a little gingerly. He got a little help up from the defensive guy that was putting the pressure on him, but he's kind of bending over and trying to shake out a little bit of pain there somewhere.
So it's going to bring up a third down and goal from about the 4-yard line. Shotgun formation from Knuth. He's going to send Clayton in motion to his left. He doesn't find him, wants Rollinger, doesn't find him. He's going to be pressured, and it's going to be the tremendous defensive end, Parker Reed. Knuth had nowhere to go. He couldn't even get rid of the ball there.
Yeah, he was running backwards and then to his left, and that's not conducive to making passes here. So we're going to have like fourth down and like 20, 21 yards or something for a touchdown.
Fourth down and goal from about, yeah, you're right, about the 21 to 22-yard line. And this is where your defensive ends can pin their ears back and come after it again. My guess is they're going to try to roll Knuth out to the right here to buy him a little time. Shotgun formation for Knuth. He sends his running back in motion from right to left, and I believe it may be a delay a game.
It is. Delay a game.
But under that mercy rule you talked about, Bob, new this year in 11 AAA, the clock keeps on spinning. It keeps on ticking down, even though there's a penalty. And so that's going to set.
They're trying a field goal.
And so
35-45, 45-yarder.
I think they're just going to pack it in and try to work on some things here. And we're talking about the Tigers. Field goal for Soley, and it is going to be no good. And the Lynx are going to keep it at the score with 3 minutes, and that's going to stop the clock, though, so it must be a change of possession.
Yep.
3:13 to go, And this 11 AAA matchup, and really, I'm telling you, Bob, I've called a lot of Lynx games in my life, okay? And this game, by far, to see on all cylinders, this team, I haven't seen a lot of 63-point games by the offense in the last 5 to 6 years, and this offense is clicking right now.
It absolutely is, and Harrisburg did not have an answer tonight. They got a couple weeks before the playoffs start. They got to come up with a game plan.
Yeah, they need to fix some things in a hurry. And it's going to be Slack, the new quarterback for the Lynx. He's going to hand it off, and we'll see if we can get a number for you.
Looks like a gain of 2 on the play.
And the carry is going to be by Peyton Egan, the sophomore, for running back for the Lynx. So sophomore to sophomore, Slack, number 8, the sophomore quarterback, to the sophomore Egan. 2 minutes to go in this 11 AAA matchup. Big matchup for seeding-wise in the 11 AAA playoffs. Slack gives it to Egan. Egan's going to scamper up and try to get that first down. It's going to bring up a third down. He's going to gain about 3 yards. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3 for the Lynx offense. They are in no hurry, as they could go into victory formation here real soon.
That is true. We got about $1:30 to go.
And Slack's going to come to the line under center I formation with Egan behind him. 2 receivers to his left. They're going to run it with Egan. I believe he's going to pick up the first down, and he does. And what a football game by your Lynx as we're bringing the clock down in this football game to 1 minute to go. Your Lynx are up 63-27, and they've really stamped this win. They've showed the other AAA teams that they're here to play, especially going into the playoffs.
I don't know if you knew this or not, Ken, but this is the second 63-point game that the Lynx had in the last 3 games.
Really? I did not know that.
We did. Yep, the two games ago. I take that back. Second time in 4 games.
Okay. And the offense is just, when you're scoring, Bob, on every possession of the football game, you're doing something right offensively. Defensively, too. Hey, hats off to the defense. You got to hold that high-powered offense, and I consider the Tigers' offense high-powered, coming off 46 points against Lincoln last week.
Absolutely. They can put it up on most anybody.
And the defense giving up 27 points. What a ball game for the Lynx team.
Yes, that was a holistic team victory.
And so your final, as the clock hits 0, the Lynx move to 6-1 on the season. I believe they solidify the number 2 seed in the 11 AAA playoffs, right behind Roosevelt as they're celebrating on the field right now. Your Lynx 63-27 as the seniors, they're going to get to play probably a couple more games on this football field, Bob.
They certainly have that look right now. I know next week they got to take on a Rapid City Stevens team out in Rapid City, so they got to travel across the state there. Hopefully everybody's well enough with all the craziness that's going on that they can get that game in. But they should be able to host at least a first round game right here, and then see what the result of that is. If the positive outcome, they can hold another one right after that.
Well,
and it very well, if all the seats hold true, be right against the same team again.
It could be.
Because right now they would be the 2 and the 3,
right.
And if seats hold true in an 8-team bracket, they would be back here again if all that holds true. But let's not get carried away. Let's go out to Rapid City, get us a win out there, keep everybody healthy, and come back and get ready for some postseason football.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Bob. I want to thank you again for coming in and filling in. You've been tremendous. It looks like you've done this before.
I have never done a football game before doing this, so.
Well, you did a great job,
Well,
and I'm sure all the fans think you did too, and I'm sure I'll hear about it, and I'm sure they'll say what a great job he did.
Or don't let the other guy do PA again. Get him back in here.
And Kyle will thank you too, I'm sure. But we want to thank everybody that listened to this and watched or even listened to this football game. As your Lynx move to 6-1 on the football season, solidify the number 2 seed with a 63-27 win against the Harrisburg Tigers. For Bob Arnold, I'm Ken McEwen. Everybody have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Our Buy Brandon campaign is a way for the chamber to put some excitement into our residents and our community about how important it is to spend your dollars here in Brandon.
The Buy Brandon campaign is very important for the city of Brandon. Here in South Dakota, most cities rely heavily on sales tax, much more than in other states. Without sales tax, we wouldn't be able to operate. You wouldn't have people plowing your snow. You wouldn't have a police department. You wouldn't have parks or park improvements. So it is essential that people buy in town. The more you buy in town, the more local sales tax comes into our coffers, the more things that we can do to improve your quality of life in Brandon.
Last year's Buy Brandon campaign went excellent. We did really good with the sales tax revenue, which now this year we get to reap the rewards of everyone buying Brandon.
Sales tax revenue was a little over $3.3 million last year. It was an increase over the previous year, and we have continually increased each year. We use that money for park improvements such as the Sunrise Playground surfacing, the transit bus system. Last year we did also buy a new bus. Our original bus was getting aged and old. We also use that for debt service and some equipment for different departments. With the money we bought a plow truck, which helps plow our streets in the winter months, and we also bought a loader.
One of the upsides to closing the pool this summer is we planned on doing a $1.6 million renovation down at the pool to include a new kiddie pool, some play features in the pool, as well as upgrading some equipment, expanding some of the lounge areas.
The Chamber's $5 challenge goes hand in hand with buying Brandon. It's as simple as just making it a priority to spend $5 a week right here in Brandon. By spending $5 extra a week, it does make a huge impact in our community.